What's up, everybody? How's it going? This is Zack Griset with Buildbox, and we're so excited to have you here today. Today we're going to be going over the game phases. We're going to be continuing with part 2 of the tutorial. We're going to be getting started here in about 4 minutes. So I'm just going to go ahead and say hi and talk to you guys. You can comment in and say hello. And yeah, we'll get things started. Okay, cool. And I'll go ahead and get Instagram fired up as well. Hey, what's up, everybody on Instagram? We're going to go ahead and get started on the live tutorial. If you want to join in, you totally can. You can download the software at buildbox.com. You can watch us on YouTube or Twitch if you want to follow along. You can also just watch us on here as well and see what we're doing. You can watch the tutorial here. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get started here in a little bit, but thanks so much for joining. Awesome. Okay, cool. We are live. What's up, Matt the Awakening? Hey, Zach, great to have you back. Game Animation, Hugh, Emily, Camsy, Vector Veen, Astrohound. Thank you guys. Thank you guys that joined today. Yeah, I'm glad that we're getting started earlier too. This is in response to Astrohound. We found that it's a little bit easier for people in the UK in that time zone, and also in India. It's it's still pretty late in India right now, but at least everybody has a better chance of joining right now. So thank you so much for joining. I'll go ahead and I'll show you real quickly what we're going to be making, or at least like what the final product is sort of supposed to look like. Because I added some more cool stuff over the weekend. And I decided I'm going to include it in on this lesson and show you guys because I think you might like it. So I'll go ahead and preview real fast. So let's play the game. Okay. So this is, let's see here. This is the Livestream demo. Let me go ahead and open up the newer version of Buildbox that I'm using to work on my game as well, but I'm also using it for testing purposes and things like that. But don't worry, for this video, I'm going to use the exact same version that you are all using. And I'm going to use the same BB doc that we used from the last time. And I'll show you where you can download that BB doc just in case. So, okay, so this is what... I'm going to open up my game file real fast, and this is what the game should look like. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and press play. By the way, can you guys all hear me okay? Is the sound, is it too high or too low? Are we all coming in clear? There's a few seconds of delay, so I'm going to give you guys a second to respond. But I just want to make sure that everything's sounds good and you guys can hear me clearly and see everything clearly. Okay. All right, awesome. So this is what okay, cool. Thanks, Emily. Or actually, it's not Emily, it's Emil. I'm sorry. Okay, or I might be pronouncing that incorrectly. Emil or Emil maybe, but yeah. So this is what. Thanks, guys. So this is what the game is going to look like. So we have a little starting animation. The cubes go flying, and then we get thrown into our game. We'll have some just basic instructions for the player to get started. I switched from coins to diamonds or gems. Yeah, I'm calling them gems now. I liked the look of gems better than coins. Then we have this little arrow that comes out, and then the little wall kind of shakes and shuffles. So I'm going to show you today how to create enemies and avoid enemies, collect gems, and there's this cool little animation that plays when you collect the gem, reach checkpoint so that you can you just go back and save your space or save your progress. And then this is a cool one that I created this weekend. I created a reverse gravity node, or basically a set gravity node, and then I made this little checkpoint so that when you go this way, it reverses gravity, and now you're going upside down. And then when you go through it again, it just it sets the gravity back to what it was before. And I'll show you guys how to do that today. It'll probably take us less than a minute to code that, and I'll give you guys the node, and you guys can all you guys can all use it. And then I think we're going to get a set gravity node in the software as well for everybody to use, but we're kind of like testing it out and stuff first. So this is I've also got an unlock doors thing going on here. So you have like a red door that defeats you if you try to go past it, and then you can unlock it with a key. And then this is cool too. I made a little push button that you can use for anything that you want, and basically you just hit the little button and it presses down and it turns green, and then it drops the key, and then you can unlock the door, and then you go through your checkpoint and you're good to go. And then what's also really cool is you just like let your character be defeated, right? And then you go back and it starts you off at the checkpoint at where you started. Also, like if you notice, the way I did it is the door is still unlocked. Even though you go and restart the game, now the door is unlocked and it starts. So it's going to be pretty sweet. I think that you'll be able to use techniques that I'm teaching you today for other games as well. Okay, so it's 11:02. We might as well go ahead and get started. Things look good on Instagram. Awesome. Okay, cool. So let's see here. Real fast, I've got a quick question. Gresgors, I don't know how to pronounce that, but do you know by any chance why did Buildbox remove a plus plan? Oh, okay, right. So we did just remove the plus plan. We're working on that. We're going to rework it a little bit, and we're also thinking possibly about changing the pro plan around maybe a little bit as well. Nothing's set in stone yet, so don't hold me to anything, but we're working with it. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead. Let's switch back to the BB doc that we left off with last week. So I'm going to exit out of this version of Buildbox, and I'm going to open up the version of Buildbox that you're all using right now. And then I also just want to show you real fast. For today's lesson, you want to go to Discord. And everybody should, like, before a live stream happens, you want to make sure that oops, I got Discord fell back behind Buildbox. But you want to make sure you go to the Buildbox live streams channel in Discord, and you can download the assets that we're going to be using for today. And then also, I have the Phases live stream demo BB doc from last week, and that's actually the BB doc that we're going to open up right now and get started with. So if you want to join me and follow along with me right now, download that BB doc real fast and get that fired up, and then we'll go ahead and get started. And then also I added some assets like the button that I showed you and everything. I added those to this Phases Part 2 assets pack. So just click that link and download it, and we're going to use that today for the lesson. Okay, cool. So let's get started. This is the version that you're all using. Let's open up the demo, Phases Livestream demo. This is where we left off last week. And then I'm going to answer a quick question. Parandori, hello, I'm creating a similar game, but my game freezes 1 second when the scenes switch from scene 1 to scene 2 and so on. I think they would be better for me to visually see that and to be able to help you out to answer that question. So if you wouldn't mind sending that in to support@buildbox.com, the support team will definitely help you out and answer that question. And I might even be able to take a look at it too if support gives me a heads up. But okay, let's do this. So this is where we left off last time. This is what we currently have right now. We've got a main menu UI that is dropping in cubes from the side, randomly dropping in cubes. We've got a color animation going back in the background, and it's looping forever and ever between 4 colors. And it's like a 5-second duration between colors fading. And then we've got some animations on the info buttons on the buttons, so that when you press them, they get sunken in and then they come out when you release them. So I'll show you. We got the info button here, And you see it goes in and out, and the cubes go flying, and there's a nice opacity change in between the transitions. We created a music on and off button and a sounds on and off button, like with using 3D models, so it looks kind of cool. And then we've got this Buildbox and a back button. I made the back button really big for some reason, I can tell. So let's go ahead and let's go back. And let's go ahead and click tap to start, and you see that the cube goes flying, but that's it. And you keep touching it, and the cubes go flying, but that's all we've got. So now we actually need to create our game world. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to exit out of preview right now, and then I'm just going to go ahead and grab a 3D world, and I'm going to drag it and drop it out here right now. Okay. Now let's call this 3D game world. Okay, and let's go ahead and set this up so that the button, when you press the button, it transitions and it jumps into our 3D world. So let's go ahead and go into our main menu 3D world, and let's take a look at our tap to start button. Hold on one second. One moment. Okay. Sorry, I had a weird feedback loop there. Okay. So, when the UI button is pressed and released, we see that we have position animations going, right? That's the position animation going in and out. So once it's released, now we need to make it so that we perform a menu jump and it jumps into the other world. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Actions, and then we're going to go to Event Observer. We're going to drag Event Observer out, and then once it's released, we're going to perform a menu jump. Okay, and then we're going to call this menu jump play button for right now, or you could call it play or play button pressed or something, whatever makes sense to you, like internally, like whatever makes the most sense to you to name it. Like, okay, the play button was pressed, now we go here. I kind of like that logic because it's easy to understand, but I'm just going to call this play button right now. Okay, and then cool. And then once we go back to our mind map, you'll see that we've got a little play button output so that we can now go and send a signal from play button to our 3D world. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Okay, cool. So, but the thing is we're going to perform this menu jump, but we've got a blank 3D world. We don't have anything going on yet with the 3D world. So let's actually put some stuff in there so that it's not just going to blank. Even though, it will work. So, okay, now let's go ahead and let's start adding in some objects real fast. So I'm going to add in, let's take a look. This is a platform. Yeah, the floor 1 looks good. There's nothing special or anything weird that we did with floor 1. So I'm going to use floor 1 in my 3D game world. So I'm going to drag this out here, and I'm going to place it into my scene. I'm going to go ahead and center it along the x-axis so that it's centered in my path. Okay. And then now you can see right here. So here is the start of our scene, that little cube with the bracket. And then here's the end of our scene, the little pyramidal object that's has like a direction that's being pointed. Let's go ahead and just shift these and kind of spread these apart a little bit so that we have more space to work with this first scene. So I'm going to move this to about, let's move it to about 14 or negative 14. And then I'll move my start node. I'll just leave it at 0, 0, 0. That's fine for the start of the scene. Okay, now let's go ahead and widen this out a little bit. I'm thinking we'll go ahead and do it something like this. Yeah, probably 3 is wide enough for our gameplay. So I'm going to go ahead and do 3 right there, and then I'm going to go ahead and stretch it out so that I'm going to go ahead and stretch this out so that it covers the entire scene. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to center it here. And there's 2 ways that you can go ahead and pull this across. You can either use the scale tool, and you can scale it out and it'll stretch evenly on both sides like that. Or you can use the multi-tool, and you can just rotate your camera around and then stretch it however, like whatever distance you want. And sometimes it's nice to use the multi-tool, so just wanted to let you know that there's that there. Okay, cool. Now let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and just stretch this out actually quite a bit, because I'm going to have a lot of like excess, I want to have just like extra space to work with. So I'll do something like that. And I'm also going to move the end of my scene. Actually, I decided I'm going to move it a little bit further. I'm going to move it to something like, let's do 24, negative 24. Okay? So I'm going to put in negative 24 in the z-axis. And then now I'm going to create a main character. So let's go ahead and set up this main character. I'm going to go to Asset Library, and I'm going to start off with a sphere for my main character. So I'm going to just double click on a sphere, and that'll add it to my library, or add it to my objects library here, my menu. And then I'm going to take the sphere, I'm going to move it up to the characters menu. Just drag it and lift it up and drop it into the characters menu. And then I'm going to rename it main character. Okay? Main character, and then I'm also going to put it in the collision group character as well. And then I want everybody to save your game now. Okay, great. So everybody save your game. It's always a good idea to save your game. And then real fast, let me check. Okay, cool. So now let's drop our character into our scene here. And I'm going to just drop it anywhere, and then I'm going to place it 0 along the x-axis, and then I'm going to raise it up a little bit here as well. Okay, cool. Now, our character is a little bit big for our gameplay, but here's a trick. Now, a lot of times you would normally scale down this sphere inside the 3D world just like this. You would just use the scale tool, and you might use this little yellow cube here in the middle, and then pull down, and it scales it with the holding on to the aspect ratio. But when you're using checkpoints, okay, and we are using checkpoints for our game, this is something you need to know. You want to actually change the scale and the model of the main character inside the node map. Okay, so let's go into our main character's node map. Let's change the scale to something like 0.5, 0.5, and 0.5 in for the scale. Okay, and that's going to shrink down the 3D model in our scene, and then once we fire off a checkpoint and we load up a checkpoint in our game again, and we start the game again, it's going to be that size. The checkpoint will always load up your starting size. Okay, so it won't recognize the scale tool, the scaling that's done in the 3D world, if you know what I mean. Okay, so if we're going to scale down the 3D model, we now have to scale down the collision shape as well. So now this one you actually can scale down in the 3D world, I believe, but I'm just going to do it here in the node map, and I'm just going to click the start node, go down to the bottom here where it says scale, and I'm just going to put in 0.5, 0.5, 0.5 in for X, Y, and Z. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and let's see what we've got right now. I'm going to go ahead and hit save again. And what we should have is we should just have a ball that falls to the ground and then rolls off the edge. So let's see if we at least have that. So I'll press start, and the ball falls down, and we can't even see it. It's the camera's not really set up correctly. So let's do that. Let's set up the camera real fast right now, just so that we have a better looking camera. Okay, so let's go to our 3D game world. Let's select our camera, and I'm actually going to use a screenshot from my other BBDoc file to use as a reference, because there's a couple different stats and stuff. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to open up. This is from the Phases Part 2 Assets pack that I gave you on Discord, so make sure you've downloaded this pack, and then you want to check the camera settings screenshot that I took, and I just need to open it. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so that everybody can see it. See if I can go even bigger with it. Okay, cool. So I'm going to move Buildbox off to the left here a little bit so that we have some room. Okay. Maybe make this a little bit smaller and shrink Buildbox down just a little bit. Okay, great. So I'm going to exit out of the Phases 2 assets pack now. I don't need those right now, but we will later. So for position, we have it set to 28.143. We've got the Y coordinate set to 19.022. And we have it set to negative 0.288 in the Z direction. Okay, we've got a negative 23 rotation in the X direction. We've got a rotation of 81.939 in the Y direction. And then we've got this scaled up to 1.4. Although I don't think the scaling does anything, although I think it does when you switch the projection to orthogonal. So we're gonna, this is an important one, okay, because a lot of times people don't really experiment with the orthogonal projection on the camera view because it looks a little funky at first, but it actually looks really, really great sometimes, so don't be afraid to use it. So we're gonna switch from the perspective to orthogonal. Okay, and then we'll do a position follow on the character. Even though we're not able to move the character yet, we will need to follow it later. And then I'm going to use a follow force of 0 in the X direction. Because I mean it's going to ignore it anyways, but if we have it in the X direction, it'll follow in and out. But we're also going to put a position factor restraint on the character so that it's not able to move along the X axis anyways. We only want it moving along the Y and the Z. So okay, here we go. We got this set up. Orthogonal scale. Let's do 1.127. The follow offset on the Y, I'm working backwards now. I should have kept going forwards, but that's okay. Negative 8.3 and negative 5. And then finally, the follow threshold is 11. Now, I'll explain the follow threshold and follow offset a little bit more, but basically the follow threshold is the amount of distance that you can go before you cross a threshold and the camera is going to start moving with the character. So if you set it to follow threshold 000, it's going to follow the character wherever it goes. But if you increase the threshold, the character will be able to move around a little bit before the camera starts shifting with it. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. So let's take a look at our game now. So I'm going to go ahead and just check this real fast. Okay, looks good. This is actually kind of looking like what we want. I tried to make the game look somewhat 2D, but have more of an isometric or 3D feel, so that it's got a little bit more depth to it. So this is looking good. This is where we want this. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the camera settings now. I'm going to reposition Buildbox back where it was before, and then let's keep going. So now we've got the character all set up in the world, and we're able to actually play our game, but let's get the character bouncing up and down. I love coconut water. Apparently it is not a live stream without having some coconut water. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead. Let's set it up so that, let's see here. If you collide with a platform, let's go ahead and do if collide right here. Let's add an if collide node. If you collide with a platform, let's perform a jump. Oops, that's not controls. Let's perform a jump. And then we're also going to, let's see here, perform a jump, and then I might need to actually double check my old main character and just double check exactly how I did this. So I'm going to go ahead and real fast, just exit out of Buildbox and double check on how I did it on the other one, because I used 2 jump nodes and a set physics node, but I want to make sure I didn't set up a scripting node or a switch node. So let's go ahead and open up Buildbox again. I'll just double check it real fast and we'll get back to where we were. So main character, okay, move left. All right, perfect. All right, awesome. Now I'm good to go. All right, let's keep going. Jump. Okay. So I'm going to exit out of Buildbox. And then let's open up the version of Buildbox that you're all using. Give it a second to fire up. Cool. Alrighty. And let's open up the Phases Livestream demo that we were just working on. Okay, cool. So, 3D game world into our main character's node map, and then basically this one's really simple. We're going to set it up so that when you collide with a platform, we're going to jump. So, over here, the affected asset is we're going to change it to the platform group. So anytime that you hit any platform, it's now going to perform a jump. Okay? And let's go ahead and set it up to about 10 or so in the jump, with the jump force. And then let's go ahead and hook it up with with this little, with the if collide node. Now, the one thing you'll have to notice when you use the if collide node is that when you start off, it automatically assigns it a cube collision shape because it doesn't know which collision shape you're working with yet. So we're going to go into our 3D world, and we're going to go to select our character, and we're going to actually manipulate and change the collision shape a little bit. So here's the collision shape. This is for the collision shape for the if collide. Let's switch it to sphere first off, and then you see how it's a little bit bigger. That's because we shrunk down the 3D model. So we need to shrink down the collision shape as well. So something like that is probably, yeah, probably like right there. You want to have a little bit of extra give, just like a little bit outside the character, so that you don't ever get that like cheated death feeling, like where you accidentally missed the platform, but it was close and it like should have. Like the player feels like it should have hit the platform. So you want to give a little bit of extra there to play around with. And then same thing with the start node as well, the start collision shape too. Okay, cool. So let's get out of collision shape mode real fast. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And then let's play our game. Let's just check to see what's happening right now at this point. So the character is falling and the character is jumping. And it's just jumping up and down. That's all that's happening. But I don't like the speed at which it's falling. And I don't like how fast it's jumping either. So I want to change those settings around. So let's go ahead and exit out of the preview. Let's go to the mind map. And we're going to go to our 3D world here, and we're going to increase the gravity to like -25. Yeah, so that it's like really bouncing up and down. And then we're going to change the main character's jump force to something like 15 or something like that. And then let's go ahead and press play. Let's check that again. Yeah. Okay, that's a little bit better. I think we can go a little bit higher actually with the jump force. Something like 17 actually probably is good enough, because the original phases, there was just a tiny little bit of hang time so that you could like shift and do these kind of quick movements. So let's go ahead and check this. All right. Yeah, that's it. That's the sweet spot. That looks good. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and exit out of this right now. Let's go ahead also and go to the start node. And remember how I was talking before about the position factor and how we don't want it to go along the x-axis? So let's go ahead and just take care of that real fast right now. Go to the position factor on the start node and change it to 0. And then we might as well change the rotation factor either, because I don't really see a reason to have it rotating right now. If we come up with a reason to have it rotating later, like if we want to add like, I don't know, like invincibility spikes to the character so that it looks like it's rolling or something like that, we can do that later. But yeah, for right now, there's just no need for it. So okay, now let's go ahead. Let's go into our 3D world. Let's add a quick background. So for backgrounds like this, I like to go with a plane, and I'll show you why. So I'm gonna just double click on a plane, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in here to our scene. Let's set it up at 0 for right now, but I think we're gonna reposition that backwards a little bit. Okay, cool. And then let's go ahead. Let's see here. 0. Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's do -90 on that. All right, perfect. So here is why I like using planes for backgrounds like this for this purpose. We'll go ahead and stretch this out so it's nice and big. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now here's why. If ever you're needing to twist the camera around, check out what happens. You go over here, you turn around, and you can still see your character, and the plane's not in the way, you know, and it's just kind of nice. If you use a cube, you don't have that option. It's just it's kind of a small thing, but when you're doing a lot of development, it's kind of nice. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just take this up just right about there. That looks good. And then let's go ahead and just give this a little bit of a nicer color. I'm going to, let's go ahead 1 second. Just trying to monitor that more. Okay. Now I'm going to quickly change the color here. So go into our 3D world, go over here, select the plane on the left in the menu, and then open up the 3D model over here on the right, and then just select it, and let's go with something like a muted purple or something like that. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. Also, I'm not super crazy about, like, the color is, not crazy about the color, and then there's also something going on with the vibrancy. I think we may want to grab the light sun here, move it back a little bit, and maybe just rotate it just a little bit so that we get, watch this, you get a little bit more color. Do you see how it kind of lightened up a little bit like that? I think that's kind of more of what we want to go for. It's subtle, but it's nice. Okay. Now let's go ahead. Let's make sure that the plane is static. Okay, cool. That's static. The floor is static. That's good. We don't need a collision shape for the plane. Or actually, let's go ahead and do the collision shape with the plane so that when debris hits up against it, it like falls down in front of it. I think that actually will be cooler. So let's go ahead and keep the collision shape as sphere, but keep in mind that the collision shape is probably not going to be super exact to start off with. So let's check the collision shape. And it is actually. Wow, that's so nice. Okay, Buildbox handles that for you, so we don't even need to manipulate the collision shape. Okay, now we need to, let's add in some control buttons to move the character around, okay? So let's go over to our mind map again. Let's bring out a UI screen. And again, if you ever want to just add a UI screen by right-clicking some empty space and then just clicking the Add New UI, you can do that too. And then we're going to add in some UI buttons here. So let's call this 3D. Let's call this 3D Game World, or actually just Game World UI. There you go. Okay. So I just got a quick question. Somebody said, why haven't we made a payment plan or a payment package for students yet? And by the way, I love this game engine, and he's from Pakistan. Well, thank you so much, and hello from Pakistan, or hello from Sausalito, and hello to Pakistan. So we are going to be adding student packaging soon. We'll have like a student pricing hopefully in the next couple months. We're working on it right now. I personally I'm developing a curriculum for you guys, so we'll have something here in the works. So it's in the works. It's on the plan. Okay, so let's add some UI buttons. Okay, so I'm going to go into our 3D into the Game World UI, and I'm going to add in some control buttons. Now, control buttons are what hooks up to or what UI buttons hook up to. So let's go ahead. Let's stretch it out about halfway like this, and then I'm just going to hit D on my keyboard, and it actually makes a copy, and it's really, really nice because it splits it right down the half. I'm going to, just to make sure that like you're not pressing both of them at the same time though, I am going to move it just a little bit with my keyboard. On both sides, I'm going to just like move it a little bit left and a little bit right so that for sure they're not overlapping. Okay, now I'm going to call this one on the left side here, I'm going to call this one move left button. Okay, and the controls, by the way, obviously are going to be touch the left side to move left, touch right side to move right, just like it was in the original phases. Okay, so move left button and move right button. And then let's save. Move right button. Perfect. And save. Quick question from on the YouTube channel here. When can we expect a new BB update? We're always working on a new BB update, but we should have something here for you very, very soon, and we've got a ton of cool stuff coming for you. So yeah, so get excited. Okay, cool. So we've got move left button, we got move right button. Awesome. Let's go back to our main character's node map, and let's go into controls, and let's add in some UI buttons here. Okay. So this is going to be, let's hook it up. Let's hook it up to created. So we got them fired up. I'm going to call this one above here, I'm going to call this one move left button, just like I did in the UI. So it'll be really easy for me to recognize, like, okay, I hook up my move left button with my move left button. It'll be very easy to recognize. So move right button, there we go. Now let's go ahead and add in a couple move nodes. So this is going to be move right, or I'm sorry, this top one's going to be move left. And then I'm going to hit S on my keyboard and create a quick duplicate just like that. And then I'm going to rename it move right. Awesome. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and, since we're moving along the Z-axis, we want to move, if we're going to move left, we want to move in the positive Z direction. And I'm going to go ahead and just put 8 here. And because I still want gravity going up and down and up and down, I'm going to make sure that I have no numbers in for X and Y. So I have to get rid, this is important to note, okay? If you have zeros in there, it's going to not move it. I think probably a good example, I should just show you this example actually. So I'm going to go ahead and press this, and then I'm going to hook this up to the move left button here. You can see it down here at the bottom. I'll press play, and I'll show you. So right now the sphere is jumping up and down, but if I start moving it left, see how it stops going down. It just kind of starts coasting like that. That's because the 0 is in there for the Y-axis on the move node. So we got to get rid of that 0. So I'm going to exit out of preview. I'm going to go over here to the move left, and let's get rid of that 0. Okay, and X doesn't really matter, to be honest. And then for move right, we want to basically do the opposite. We just want to move -8 in the Z direction, and then let's also do the same though and get rid of the Y so that it's bouncing. Okay, so now here's the thing though. You might think that you might want to use another move node so that when it's released, it just goes back to just bouncing up and down. But what you actually want to do, because the move nodes are continuously firing, what you want to do is you want to use a set physics node. Okay, so we're going to go down here to set physics, and then basically on both of these, as soon as you release the button, we want to go back to bouncing up and down like we were before. So we're going to, and let me hook up real fast while I've got the move right button node open. I'm just going to hook it up to move right button on my UI. So now the controls are all taken care of. Okay. Now let's go ahead and set the physics. Angular velocity 0, 0, 0, and then linear velocity let's just empty those out. Let's not have anything. And honestly, you could probably just get rid of all of them for right now. And then you want to make sure, though, that the physics type is dynamic so that gravity is affecting it. So let's go ahead and hit save, and then let's just check our controls and make sure that our controls are working. So let's press play. And then let's go ahead and start. Cool. And then I'm going to move left. Good. Let's see here. Oh, what am I doing? I'm hitting the keyboard. I'm sorry. I'm going to touch the left side. There it goes. We'll add keyboard movement soon. And then you touch the right side. Okay, and it stops. All right, perfect. So let's go ahead and set it up so that, let's see here. Move left is done. Let's go ahead. Follow rotation. Move 8. 0 here. Okay, move left button. There's a slight delay I'm noticing with on the okay, here's what we'll do. We'll instead of having none, let's immediately set it to 0 so that it stops moving. That's actually the best thing to do. So let's go ahead and press play. And then let's go left side. Yeah, so that's perfect. And then, so yeah, you can like, it's a little bit jumpy, but that's because I'm just slamming the tap button. But that's actually what you want to be able to do. You want to be able to do little shifts like that because that's how the gameplay was in phases, the original phases. And you could do like these kind of like cool obstacles and stuff for the game. Okay, so yeah, for that one, for set physics, make sure that you have 0 set up for the x-axis, or for the z-axis. Okay. And all right, perfect. All right. Now let's go ahead and add in some keyboard controls because I don't know about you guys, but when I'm testing, I like to be able to test with the keyboard instead of having to click. Okay, so let's go ahead and add in some keyboards real fast. So controls, and then you want to use keyboard button. And then I'm going to call this left keyboard button, just real fast. I'm just go left keyboard button, and then I'll hook it up so that when it's pressed, we move left, and then once it's released, we do our set physics thing. And then I'm going to just highlight everything on the button, and then I'm going to hit left on my keyboard so that you just see that left arrow right there. Okay, let's go ahead and do one more keyboard button. Here, I'll do it right here. And this time when it's pressed, we're going to move right. And then when it's released, we'll do the set physics again. And let's name this one right keyboard button. And then same thing, just hit right on the key. Oops, nope. You want to highlight the button first, and then hit right on the keyboard, and you're good to go. Okay, cool. We're good there. Now, let's go ahead and add in, kind of like I have in my original demo. Let's add in like a layer on the top to give it some depth and a back wall. So let's do that real fast. I'm going to go ahead and add in, I'm going to call this just barrier for right now. So I'm going to add in, I'm going to select another cube, add it from my asset library. I'm going to click out of my asset library. I'll select my cube, and then I'm going to name it barrier. And this time, I'm not going to put it in the platform collision group because the truth is if I don't want my character to hit it and then all of a sudden jump again, because it's in the platform group. So we're just going to keep the collision group as empty. Let's go ahead and bring this in again. I'm going to reposition it to 0 in the x-axis. Let's go ahead and just do 10 for right now, just as a placeholder. And then remember the scale was 3 before, so that's the same width as our path. And then, yeah, so that looks good. Okay, perfect. Now let's go ahead and raise this up and move this around. So I'll scale it like this and do something like this. Just got to make sure that it covers from start to the end of the scene, really. And hopefully when we open up the camera view, we want to make sure that it's like covering all the camera too. So let's make this bigger. Make it like this. Maybe move this up a little bit higher. Let's take a look at the camera now, actually. So I'm going to press play. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. And so that we can go ahead and see like where things are at. Okay, cool. So that looks good. I want it just a little bit lower. And also, let's see here. You know, I'm still not crazy about the light sun. The shadows are not, because you see how the shadow is coming down from the platform up above, right? And it's coming straight down. That means not a lot of light is actually hitting that plane up against. So we're not able to get like that color. So let's go ahead and fix that. As far as where the platforms place, or I should say the barriers placed up above, that's fine. That actually looks pretty good to me. I kind of wanted that like sort of like angled upwards look. The only thing though is our ground also needs to be stretched down a little bit, because you see in the bottom, let me make this a little bigger for you guys. You see in the bottom right hand corner here how it's like there's a little bit of blue showing. Let's get rid of that. So let's go ahead and make these fixes. So I'm going to select the ground, and then I'm going to just stretch it down a little bit, something like that, so that it'll be very like, definitely it'll cover up the camera, you know, in the camera view, and won't be peeking out anymore. And then let's take a look at this, what's going on with the light sun, because I want more vibrancy from my colors, and I don't like where the shadow's hitting right now. So I'm gonna lift this up, and I'm actually gonna place the shadow like up here. Okay, and let's see here. Okay, receive shadow. Okay, cool. I like that. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with that now. So let's go ahead and go back to the move tool. Let's take a look. Okay. You know what? With that color, I think we could even go a little bit more like vibrant with it. Like we could probably change it to a little bit of a better color now that I can see it a little bit better. So let's do like a purple. Yeah. I'm a big fan of like a nice muted purple. Okay. Gonna take a quick second to answer some questions from YouTube and Twitch, and make sure I let you guys know that I am paying attention to the comments. Okay, so Angelo Knowles is asking about multiplayer. It's coming. I know I say that a lot, right? But we are working on it. I will say this though, before we do multiplayer, we're probably going to give you some AI first, so that you have some artificial intelligent bots, like players to play against, like that would be great for offline use, you know, so that you have like, it's a lot like those .io games that Voodoo has released and that have been super popular. Like a lot of those are just AI bots that you're playing against. So we'll probably release that before multiplayer. But yeah, it's coming up. Okay, cool. Hugh, what's up, Hugh? Glad you're on. Thank you so much, man, for answering questions. Eric, BB is definitely more impressive than Playmaker for Unity. Great job. Thank you so much. That's a really nice compliment. Thank you. I mean, obviously, you know, I love Buildbox, and this is definitely the software I want to be using, and I have the most fun with when I'm developing. So I'm glad you said that. Peter, is it a possibility that the checkpoint node also works in the X direction? I don't see why not. I believe the way it works, Peter, is that when you have a checkpoint and you set a checkpoint, and like you have a set checkpoint node that you fire off, it will load you up. It will load up the character and place that character exactly where the like set checkpoint took place, at that coordinate. So if you have it, you know, taking place along the X coordinates, you know, and you're going along the X direction, I don't see why not. I haven't tested it yet, but I'm pretty sure it'll work. From me using it like crazy. Okay, now let's see here. Top news. Thank you so much, Zach. Thank you, top news. And if you can make a video about levels in BB3, thanks so much. Okay, yes, I will add that to the list real quick. Is just making levels in BB3. Okay. Today's kind of like levels because you go through phases, right? But this is more actually kind of like checkpoints. I would say that this is less like levels than more just like this is probably more like one long world that you reach checkpoints instead of like having like multiple worlds or multiple levels, if you know what I mean. Okay, cool. And then if you can make a video about, okay, cool. I want to start a game dev. Any words of encouragement? This is to Phoenix Gaming. Words of encouragement. Don't give up. It's all about perseverance. There's going to be times where you get bored, you get sidetracked. Just don't let yourself get defeated. Finish out your first project, and to make it easier to finish out your first project, my like best advice I can give you is start with a small game. Okay, the first game that I made was a really basic like jetpacker, like jetpack game, but like Flappy Bird, and it just hopping and avoiding enemies and stuff like that. And then and then after that you can like start to grow as a developer, and you'll add things like a speed boost and unlocking doors and things like that. But start off small. Don't try to make Call of Duty on your first go. So yeah, that's what I would say. Okay, cool. Please effects on text. There are ways to make effects with text, so I'm not sure what you're referring to exactly, but yeah. Okay, I know this is out of the box, but can we make a quiz game? Yes, you can make a quiz game. Super awesome quiz game. It was created by a video Tepis who is with Crevasse Studios. He and I are both really like fly fishing, and he made a really awesome like quiz app that is all about fly fishing. So yeah, you can definitely do that. I think he made it with BB2, but you can make it with BB3 too. You can make it with BB3 easily. Okay, and I'm going to answer one more questions, and then I'm going to get continuing with the tutorial so I can show you guys how to do this. Okay. It'll be nice hotkeys for move, scale, rotate, multi-tool. You know what, Alexis? There is actually hotkeys for move, scale, rotate, and multi-tool. I am just forgetting what they are. Hey, Hugh, or anybody else from the Buildbox team, would you mind going and asking just real quick and checking to see what the hotkeys are for move, scale, rotate, and multi-tool? Because I know I'm just forgetting them off the top of my head, but I know that they're there. And then share them in the comments with everybody, and I'll let you guys know. I'll tell you about it. Okay, cool. Let's do one last barrier behind the character. Yeah, all right, gonna get started. Let's go ahead and move this over. Shrink this down a little bit. Ooh, went the other direction. Okay, cool. Looking good. And then let's just, yeah, do something like this. It doesn't have to be exact, but we want it to look fairly nice. Okay. Abhishek, I'm sorry, Abhishek. If you're having problems with getting Buildbox fired up, I see you there. Go ahead and reach out to support@buildbox.com. Support@buildbox.com, and they should be able to help you out. I'm not able to really help you out like while we're on the live stream right now, but we will take care of you. Okay, so just message support@buildbox.com, and we got you. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and let's press play, and let's just see where we're at. I actually think that our barrier is set to dynamic, or no, it's set to none. Let's go ahead and set it to a static physics type for right now, so that at least when the ball hits it, it like bounces up against the ball. Okay, and then let's see here. Thank you, Smart Penguins. Okay, thank you, Smart Penguins. So it is, for hotkeys, for move, scale, and rotation tool, it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then Hugh also mentioned a good one for rotating the camera around and doing that stuff. Hugh mentioned that you can hold spacebar or left click to move, hold spacebar, right click to rotate, and all that stuff. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now let's go ahead. Let's just save our game real fast and press play. Okay. How we doing here? Okay, cool. So we got this character, and it's moving, but we can't even really tell that the character is moving right now because we've just got no static objects. So let's start adding in some enemies and adding in some gems and all this stuff so that our game is super cool. Okay. So first, what I'm gonna do is let's just add in some enemies here. So I'm going to go to Asset Library, and then I'm going to double click on Cone. Oops, and then I'm going to select Cone again. I'm going to call this Spike Enemy 1. Spike Enemy 1. Okay. Now, the other thing that we need to make sure that we do is we put it in the collision group enemy. Okay? And then let's go to our main character here, and let's make it so that once we collide with an enemy, the character is defeated, and then we get sent over to a game over UI. Okay? So let's go to Actions, If Collide, and then we'll hook it up to the start node. This time we're not going to check for if we're colliding with a platform. We're going to check if we're colliding with an enemy. So select the if collide node, and I'm going to call this just going to change the affected asset to enemy. And then you know what, it might be nice like for labeling purposes, just so that it's like super clear. Let's call this if collide with platform. And then let's call this one if collide with enemy. So that like we can just see it really, really easily, you know, and then it's like, okay, if I collide with platform, jump. If I collide with enemy, defeat. So it'll be super, super easy. Okay, let's go ahead, and now we're going to add in a couple little nodes here, some really cool stuff. So we're going to need a defeat node. We're going to need an event observer node. And let's also snag a debris explosion node, so that when the character hits the enemy, it goes push, and that'll be cool. So we'll grab a defeat explosion node, and then we also need just a tiny bit of a delay, so that you have so that there's a little bit of time for the explosion, the debris explosion node to actually perform its explosion, so that you can actually see it. So we're going to go over here to advanced. We're going to snag a delay node, and then we'll bring that out as well. Okay, so here's how we do this. We're going to say that if we collide with an enemy, we want to defeat the character, and then once it's defeated, we want to perform a debris explosion, and then start a little bit of a delay, and then after that delay is done, we want to head over to the game over UI. So that's the logic there. Let me go ahead and show you that one more time. If we collide with an enemy, we want to defeat the character. And then once we defeat the character, we want to see an explosion happen. And then during that explosion, we want to wait a little bit. We want to wait a few seconds, or right now it's set to half a second, but we'll probably want to wait like 1 second or 1.5 seconds. And then once that's over and we've watched the debris explosion, then we perform the game over event observer, and we jump to game over. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's call this game over right here on the event observer, game over. Let's go ahead and save real fast, just because it's a good idea to always save. I'm also going to go ahead and start saving to the backup, because saving backup files is also super clutch when you're using Buildbox. So let's go ahead and save as Phases Livestream. I'm just going to I'm going to save it to Phases Livestream Backup 1, and I'm going to replace that file so that I've always got a backup. And the more you develop with Buildbox, it's always a good idea to just have backup files. And pretty much when you develop with anything, it's good to have backups. Okay, now we have not set up the menu jump really yet, and we haven't really fixed the debris explosion yet. So let's go ahead. Let's do debris explosion first. To do a debris explosion, we actually need a debris asset to throw out. So let's go ahead and let's do that real fast. So let's go to our 3D world. Let's go to Asset Library, and let's grab another sphere. Okay, but this one is, we're going to call this just main character debris. Okay, because this will be just the debris that comes flying off the character when the character is defeated. So main character debris, and then you want to make sure that the physics type is set to dynamic, and it already is. It comes automatically set to dynamic, so we're good. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and go into my main character's node map. Now that we've created that asset, we can click this little edit button here, and we can go down the menu, and we can select main character debris, and then hit save. Okay, and right now we've got it set to inherit color. We're going to change that in a little bit. I just want to kind of show you what we've got so far. And right now I'm going to go ahead and hit save, because this is going to be, I'm asking Buildbox to do something kind of funky, because I'm asking it to perform a game over event observer when I haven't set up a game over path yet, or a game over signal. So this could be a little bit funky, so I'm going to go ahead and save before I press play. So let's go ahead and do it. Okay, cool. And then we actually haven't set up the enemy yet, so let's put an enemy in our world. So let's grab the spike enemy. Let's bring it out. Let's put it in here. Put it in our little world. Let's set it up to be 0 in the X direction, or along the X-axis, so it's centered. And then let's also change the color. And we'll make it so that everything that's kind of like a gray color or a darkish color is going to be an enemy. So let's go to 3D world. Let's go here to something like this. Like, I think not a super saturated black like that. Don't do that. Do something like a nice muted, like almost gray color. It just is, it looks better. It looks cleaner. And it looks more like, it looks more pleasing to the eye. So, okay, now let's go ahead and make sure that we've got our collision shape all squared away there. Good. Now the only other problem is that you see that the physics type is set to dynamic. That might mean that the cone is just going to either fall through the floor, or it's going to like just be kind of like not secure. It's going to move around. So we don't want that. So we're going to change it to static. Okay? And then hit save again. Okay, let's go ahead and let's make this happen. Let's go ahead and press start. Okay, that is a big old spike, but let's do it. All right, and so we hit the character goes exploding into little white balls, and then nothing happens yet because we haven't set that up. So that's awesome. I like it. I'm going to go ahead and make the spikes a little bit smaller, and I'm going to make the debris explosion, make the debris jump a little bit higher. So let's go ahead and let's make this a little bit smaller. Something like, let's see here, let's just check. Yeah, something like 0.6 I think is probably good. 0.6, 0.6, 0.6. That's a little bit more accurate. And let's see here. Hey, I'm going to go ahead. There's a message here I want you guys to see. So Smart Penguins is going to release a video on how to do a coin shop tomorrow on his channel, or pretty soon. So keep an eye out for that. I also am going to be releasing a coin shop video as well, but we're currently setting up ways to make it even easier for you. But Smart Penguins has got a good way to do it now. So just, yeah, definitely check that out. He's got good tutorials. So, okay, let's go ahead and let's make the debris go a little bit higher now. So on the debris explosion, you'll notice that the linear velocity is set to 5. Let's crank that up to like 30. And then we'll still keep the 5s there so that it kind of goes in different directions. Okay, and then I'm also going to show you something kind of cool. So I'm going to go into the 3D world. Let's go into our main character's debris. And you know how it explodes and it just turns into little white balls? Well, I thought it was cool if you make the character all of a sudden like fade into like a black color, like, or something, or a dark color. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're just going to set up actions. We're going to go to actions, and then we're going to go to color animation, and then we're going to set it up so that as soon as this object is created, we'll take like a second, we'll do a linear easing function, and let's change it to like black, like that, just like that. And then we don't even need to do the model name. And I think a second might be good. It might be good to do maybe 1.5. Okay. Let's go ahead and check it out. So let's press play. Okay. Hold on one second, everybody. I've got sorry about that, everybody. The live stream stopped on Instagram, so I just had to start it up again. Okay, we're back in it. Okay, cool. Main menu. Start the game. The character looks to be floating above the ground. We're gonna need to change the collision shape on that. I can tell you that much. And there you go. And you can see like you can see that the character like quickly changed to like little black balls. Let's go ahead and let's make that. Let's do 2 seconds on the duration so that it's like a slow fade. Okay, and then what's going on with this collision shape here? Okay, collision shape, spike enemy, we're good. Oh, you know what it was? Is I just had it lifted up. The collision shape's fine. I'll go ahead and make it a little bit bigger so I can see it. Okay, cool. And then I just need to plant it into the ground. That's all I need to do. Perfect. Okay, cool. Alrighty. And let's go ahead and do a couple little spikes, just 3 of them. Hit save again. And let's test out our game. Okay. Hit the spike. Alright. Perfect. Go flying. I think the fade is a little bit better. I think that's good. Let's also let's go to the main character, go to debris explosion. Let's get rid of preserve momentum. And let's add in a little bit of angular velocity as well, maybe. Just to kind of make it a little bit even crazier. Okay. And there we go. I'll hit save. And then I'll press play. Let's make sure that this is set correctly. Start dynamics. Awesome. Let's play the game. Okay. Yeah. Way better. Way cooler. That was pretty cool. All right, now we're cooking with fire. So, one thing I gotta say is I'm not super crazy about the speed on the character. I'm gonna go ahead and increase the speed to something like negative 11 and 11 on the z-axis, so that it's able to move a little bit faster. Okay, cool. Now let's go ahead and set it up so that when the game is over, the character is able to come back and you're able to play again. Okay, so let's go to our mind map, and then let's go over here to let's add in another 3D world here, and then let's add in let's go over here to game world UI, and then we need to grab an event observer. And I like to place my event observers up here at the top, and so that they're kind of out of the way. And then it's automatically set to the game over type, but let's just call it, let's go ahead and also call it game over so that we know what it is when we go to our mind map. So game over, and then now once we go to our mind map, we've got this little game over output, and I'll zoom in here so you can see it really well. Game over output, and then we're gonna go to our game over 3D world. And again, I know that this tutorial uses a lot of 3D worlds, but that's because I really wanted to show you an interactive UI with using a 3D world, and I thought there were some techniques that you would appreciate. Unfortunately, the free version only has one world, so if you would like to follow along with this in its entirety, you need to upgrade to the pro version right now, and then, but you can still use any of these techniques, in the free version, but you just won't be able to have multiple worlds. Okay, so let's hook this up to the UI as well, and then let's go ahead and start creating our Game Over 3D World UI, or Game Over 3D World, so that it looks similar to, or so that it looks good and we can jump back into our game. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go into this world, and I'm gonna snag the background real fast. I'm just gonna copy it, and then I'm gonna go over into my mind map and go to my Game Over 3D world, and I'm gonna use it as my background. Okay, and then now let's go ahead and drop in some assets here. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop in let's see here. Let's go to the first phases assets pack I gave you. So there's an older one that I gave you for the first video, and we want to use the game over OBJ, and we're going to drop in the game over OBJ right now. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and click out of here. Let's grab the game over OBJ. Let's lift her up. Kind of rotate this around 90 degrees. Okay, cool. Got it 90 degrees. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Something like that. And then let's also just shrink down. I don't want it extended so much. Okay, and then I think we're good. The last thing, though, is that whenever you add in an OBJ, it's going to be set to dynamic automatically. So we're going to need to change this to static. Okay, physics type. Or actually, no, we're just going to change it to none. We're not even going to move it around. Okay, and then let's go ahead and hit save. And then let's go ahead and take a look real fast. Okay, so this is the camera view that we're going to actually be seeing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just zoom out a little bit. And then I think also I'm not super crazy about the rotation. I believe in our main menu 3D world there is no rotation. Yeah, let's get rid of the rotation on the camera. So in the X direction, I'm going to change the rotation of the camera to 0. Okay, cool. And then let's open up the camera view and just take a look at that. Okay, that's good, but we need to lower the camera now. So lower the camera down. Okay, that's better. Maybe move it up a little bit. And then I'm going to crank this guy up just a little bit too. Okay, cool. And let's go ahead and press start. Or, sorry, let's save. Let's take a look at that. All right, that looks good to me. Now we need a restart button and a restart button and a back button for the, like, if you want to go to like the home, like if you want to go to the main menu screen. But for right now, let's just do a restart button. So let's go over here to the phases assets pack from the first video. Let's grab a restart OBJ and let's drop it in as an object type again. We'll do the same thing that we did with just a second ago. Let's rotate it 90 degrees. Let's scale it up just a little bit. And then let's also make sure that it's set to none. Okay, cool. And then let's see here. Okay. Awesome. Let's go ahead and do, let's take a look at our camera real fast. Make sure that that's centered. Okay, cool. I like that. That's not too bad. The restart button will work. I'm going to go ahead and also just shrink down the scale just a little bit like that. Okay, cool. All right. Now, you know how we did with the info button, we did the position animations? And this is kind of this kind of makes, it's kind of like a polishing technique, really, but I still think it's cool, and I think you guys should do these polishing type of things to make your games look super good. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do it anyways right now. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look here. So info start, right? We had these little position animations. If you want, just copy and paste them. You know, just copy and paste like a position animation over into the restart button. So game over 3D world, restart OBJ, and just paste it in there. And then you can do the same thing here. Just grab this one, paste it in there. So like all the work's done for you. I just need to set up the UI button and then we're good to go. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's do that. Let's set up a UI button here. And this is we're going to call this restart button. Restart button. Oh yeah. Alrighty. And like heck, we could even make it right now so that if you just touch the screen, it restarts. But let's make it so that we actually you actually have to touch it, because later we're going to want to press have a home button. You'll want to have other options as well. Like maybe you want to have an info button there or a remove ads button or something. Whatever you guys want to do later, we'll probably want to set it up so that when you press the restart button, there's only this little section that you can tap to restart. So, okay, restart button, when it's pressed, it goes in, and then when it's out, it comes back out. Okay, cool. So that's done. Restart button. Now let's go to our let's go to our mind map here. Let's go to our UI screen, and actually let's go ahead and rename this real fast. So we're going to call this the game over UI. Game over UI. Sweet. Okay, cool. And now we're going to add in a control button here. This is just going to be like our little UI button. It's going to be roughly like right here. And remember the technique I kind of taught you before of like when you want to place things like exactly right. I just take a little screenshot here, something like this, and I'll drop it in. I'll take like a screenshot of anything. I'll drop it in. I'll change the opacity to something like 0.5. And then that way I can like place it exactly right. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my Game Over 3D World. Let's go ahead and just start this new scene out. Okay, and you can see where I need to kind of shrink it down and pull it down a little bit to the left. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that real fast. Let's go to the Game Over UI. I'll kind of put this off to the side, and over here I'm going to go up with it. And then I'm just going to kind of do this. Yeah, like that. Okay, cool. Perfect. I think we're good there. And then I'll go ahead and get rid of the texture, and we're fine. Now we'll be able to hit the restart button just fine. Okay, cool. So exit out of this. Let's save our game again. This time I'm going to call this restart button as well, and then we'll go ahead and hook it up, the restart button in the node map. So okay, restart button. Do the position animations, and then also, where are you? Okay, restart button. Cool, we've got it. Let's exit out of these guys, and I think when I reopen the node map, it'll show up. So let's go ahead. Let's go into the restart OBJ. Go to the restart button. There you are. Restart button at the bottom. Cool. Okay, now we save. Sweet. Now we're gonna have ourselves a game loop. Okay. So all we need to do is make sure that once we hit the restart button, we perform a menu jump, and then we go back into the gameplay, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and go to Actions, and I'm going to go to Event Observer, and we're going to do, once the button is released, we do a menu jump, and we're going to call this Restart, or Restart Button. Let's do Restart Button. Okay, let's go ahead and save, and then I'm actually going to go ahead and save on the other file I was saving on to, and just kind of keep them separate, just as like, this is a good habit to do, like every 30 minutes or so of development, you want to go ahead and you can go ahead and yeah, let it go. Okay, cool. So let's do this. Go ahead and press play. All right, we're good. All right, now, so we're going to go to our mind map, and then you see here where it says restart button. This is where we're going to hook it up so that when we restart, we're going to go back to our 3D world. Now, personally, I don't like it. So I don't like it when the lines like go like that, like over each other, like over the nodes. So I like to like space things out a little bit. So I do something like this so I can clearly see the signal lines. That's a personal preference. Okay, cool. Now we've got it so that when we hit the restart button, it's going to perform that little animation, and then it's going to restart the game. And then after that, we're going to work on opacity changes so that it looks beautiful. Okay, so let's press play, and let's start the game, and let's make sure our character's defeated. Boom, explosion. Ah, yes, you saw the explosion didn't have time to you didn't get to see it, and then it instantly jumps into the game over UI, and then you restart your game, and at least you're able to restart your game no problem. So everything's working, but we got to clean this up a little bit to make this look a little bit nicer. So let's go ahead and do this. So let's go to our main character again, and remember that delay that we have so that we can watch the debris happen. So we have about, like, let's take a look at the main character debris. So we have a 2-second duration on the color change. Let's go ahead and do a 2-second let's do a 2-second delay before that game over menu jump is triggered. So let's go to the main character. Let's increase the delay to 2 seconds, and then that way we get to see the fade, and then it'll automatically start the opacity changes that we're going to add here in a little bit. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'll save again. Okay, so let's just go ahead and test this out again. I did see a question real fast. It says, how long do you think the live stream lasts? Today, guys, I'm going to be live streaming at least till 1 o'clock, maybe a little bit longer if I'm filling up for it. And then also I'm going to do a little bit of Q&A with you guys at the end, so that if you guys have certain things that you want me to show or point out in future live streams, I can get those things down. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and check our game. And press start. Cool. A little explosion there. Nice. You got to see, like, you got to actually see the fade. You restart your game. All right, let's get some opacity changes so that things like look clean. Like, do you know how in the beginning where we have like the info and it like changes from white and it comes out? I want that for the game over and the restart. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go over here to the mind map. I'm going to go over to the game over UI. And let's see here. Did I add in a white little screenshot for you guys before? I don't think so. Okay, cool. So you'll just want to grab like a white screenshot, like anywhere you can. It just like, I'm actually going to do it from our YouTube comments chat, like I did last time in the first video. So you just grab this, just drop it in as an image. Smaller is better in my opinion, so that it takes up less room in your atlases. So let's go ahead, let's make this so that when you are opening it, it goes from being see-through, transparent, to to white, okay? Or actually, I should say, I take that back. I completely reverse that. Completely reverse that. You want to start with white and then go to transparent. Okay, so let's hit the record button. Or let's go ahead, let's shrink this down to 30 frames. Sometimes I feel like 40 frames is just a little bit too much. So let's do, hit the record button, and then we're going to start with the opacity being 1, and I'm going to hit the enter button and look under the 0 frame. Look how when I hit the enter button, there's a little green box there. Actually, I'm covering it up. Okay, I'll see if I can move off to the side. But like basically there's this little green check mark box like right here on the bottom. I don't know if you probably can't see it that well, but I'll show you again on the other one. So at the very end here at the 30th frame, this is where you want to change the opacity to 0 and you hit enter. Okay, cool. And then let's go ahead and just check that real fast. Cool, fade. Okay, cool. That looks great. Now we're going to do the same thing for the close animation. Let's do 30 frames on the close animation. And then this time we're going to start with transparent and then go to white. So hit the record button again. This time start with 0 and hit enter. Then go to the 30th frame, change the opacity to 1 and then hit enter again. And then now it's going to look good. So then we'll turn off the record button, or stop the recording. Let's go back to our 3D game world, or let's go back to our mind map. And then now we need to make sure that at the end event of the game world UI, that one also has a nice little transition. That's the final one that we got to do, and then we're good to go. Okay, so game over UI. Open animation. Let's add in that white screenshot. Where did you go? I'll just do another one. I must have just grabbed it and used it. Okay. Just grab it, drop it in, boom. Okay, cool. Let's bring this up to the top. Got to make sure it's at the top. Okay. Let's stretch this out. And then let's go ahead, bring this over here. Okay, and then when it opens up, you want it to, for this one, let's do 20 frames to start off with. And then we'll hit the record button, and then we'll make it so that it starts off as 1 on the opacity on the first frame, and then on the 20th frame, we're going to change the opacity to 0, hit enter, and then it saves the little animation marker down here, and then we're good. And then let's go to the closing event animation. Let's add in 30 frames. Let's go to 0. Let's make sure the 0 frame, make sure that it's set to 0, the opacity. And then finally, let's go to the 30th frame and change the opacity to 1, and then hit enter, and then we're good to go. Let's make sure that that's working. Okay, cool. Let's turn off the record button, save our game, and then let's check out all the transitions, and it's gonna look nice. It's gonna look nice and polished. All right, cool. Let's do it. All right, nice faded there. The color is changing in the background. Sweet, cool explosion. Nice fade in right there. There was a nice little fade in. It was subtle, but it's nice. And then a fade out. Game over. Fade in to the game over UI. Colors changing in the background constantly. Restart button. A little push animation and a nice fade back in. Boom. Okay, so there we go. We're done with all the transitions now. It looks really, really clean. Let's go ahead and start adding some more gameplay, and let's add things like all the cool stuff, like the enemies, the gems, the checkpoints, the reversing gravity, the buttons, the doors, all of that stuff. Let's go ahead. We've been doing a ton of setup for this moment right now. Okay, so I'm going to show you something cool. This is totally up to you whether or not you want to do this. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to just exit out of these tabs real fast. Just because, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and just exit out of these tabs because I've got a lot of tabs going on now. And I just want to focus on what I want to focus on. Okay. Cool. Save the game again. All right. 3D world. In our game world. Now this is something that I did in the beginning of the game for mine, because I want to get some instructions in there, and I have a wall that like prevents people from being able to move on until the instructions are over, and I have an arrow come out, and then you can go. I'm just going to show you guys how to do that. You don't necessarily have to do that, but it's kind of cool, like at least to show like a shaky wall movement, you know, to get out of there. So let's go ahead and do that. First off, I'm going to go into the Phases 2 part assets, or part 2 assets, and there's this BB asset that I created called intro text. I'm just going to go ahead and just drop it in, all right? And I want you guys to all do the same. I did this because it just kind of is a little bit of a shortcut. I'll just quickly show you what is inside here. So hold on one second. Okay, intro text. Cool. Let's move this over here so you can see what I made for you guys. All right. And then basically what it does is it has a welcome like welcome to phases, a text, then a touch right to move right text, and a touch left to move left text. And it just will come out and pop out from behind the plane. And then let's just go ahead and let's just see what this thing does. So I'm going to drop the intro text in here. Let's go ahead and it's set it up here so that it's at 0 along the x-axis. So it's nice and centered. Okay, cool. Now you can see that there's a lot of craziness going on here with all the models. Don't really worry about that for right now. Just get things sized up the way you want, roughly. And then just move it back behind the wall a little bit. So something like this, and then just move it back. And I believe we should be good to go on that. Let's double check. Okay, I'm gonna hit save. I'll press play. I'm just gonna make sure that this asset's working fine for you guys. Yeah, welcome to Phases. I might shrink down I might like truncate it down just a little bit, because you notice how it's like really extruded out and it's kind of like way too 3D. But those are the instructions, game instructions. Super fast. Welcome to Phases. Touch right, go right. Touch left, go right. Go left. Then jump into the game. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just take this guy. I'm gonna scale it down just a little bit because I don't like it just coming out so much. Okay, cool. We're good now. And then just tuck it behind the wall, and then it'll come out in the beginning. Okay, now this is what I'm gonna show you guys how to do the shaky wall thing too, if you guys are interested. So asset library, I'm gonna grab a cube, and then I'll get out of the asset library, and then I'm gonna call this like move wall. Move wall. We're gonna make sure it's kinematic. because we actually want to be able to move the collision shape with it, so that's not blocking the character anymore. And then let's go ahead, let's take a look, let's move the wall out here. Okay, get it set up like we've got with the other ones. Let's do 0. Let's move it up a little bit for right now, just for a placeholder. No rotation, none of that. We need to make sure that the scale is at least like the width of the platform that you were running on. Okay, cool. So this is our wall. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this up like this, like this. This is our little wall here. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and move the enemies over to the next scene. So I'm just gonna delete them for right now. And then let's go ahead and let's take a look real fast. Intro text. Let's move you just a little bit more centered, like that. Let's see here, coming out. It looks like that. I kind of want it right there. Okay, cool. Go back inside. Awesome. Okay, now this is what we're going to do. So if you look at the intro text, you'll see that the last delay takes, I have the words come in after 8.4 seconds, and then it takes 8.4 seconds, and then it takes 0.7 to actually perform the position animation, so that's 9.4, and then it takes another 2 seconds, so that's 11.4, and then 1 more second, so 12.4. So basically, after 12.4 seconds, I want the wall to move away. I'm going to do 12.5 right now, just to, I'm going to use 12.5 just to give myself a little bit of like space, but yeah, let's go ahead and do this. So, game world, move wall, and what I'm going to say is that after 12.4 seconds, or 12.5 seconds, so let's do delay, as soon as it's created, after 12.5 seconds, I want the wall to start shaking, and I want it to move. So where's my movement? Movement. I want to do a wave, and we'll do wave speed like, I don't know, 30, and we'll do the wave vector. So I want it to shake like this. So I actually want it to shake between like 1 or something, like our 0.1 right here. And then I want it to shake, and then I also want it to slowly move. So let's bring out a move node, and then let's make it move. I believe in the X direction. I believe it's negative in the X direction. Let's double check that. Let's do -2 in the X direction, and then I'm gonna leave the speed as 0 for Z, because I want the shakes to happen. Okay, let's take a look and let's see if that looks any good. So press play. Let's start our game. Okay, welcome to phases. I might move the back wall up. You know what? I didn't put in 12.5 seconds. I just left it at half a second. Here we go. Let's do 12.5. Okay, and then I think I'm going to move this guy over just a little bit. Yeah, something like that. Okay, let's play again. Huh. Okay, you know what? I'm also going to move the character back a little bit too. There we go. Since it's following the character. Yeah, this is what I wanted. I just wanted, like, I don't know why, I just think this is so clean. It just starts off with, you just start off with a box. And then you get your little instructions. And then as soon as this one goes in, it just starts, like the wall starts shaking. And interesting, it's not moving the way I want it to. Let's see here. Where is it moving? Okay, it's shaking. It's shaking. But why isn't it moving? Let's do -5 in the X direction. 12. Let's do 12.4 because that extra 0.1 seconds is actually something. Oh, and then maybe I'll just get rid of these in the wave vectors. Maybe that's what's holding it back. Let's go ahead and hit save. And then real fast, let's also get the game instructions really nice and centered in there. So info text. Let's bring you out. Let's get this sucker real centered. Yeah, I think that's better. And then tuck it back in. Okay, cool. All right, let's see what we got. All right, we've got our cube. Oh, I wanted it to come down a little bit. Huh. Oh, I didn't bring it out. I put it too far back. Yeah, you just got to put it just in there, and let's just shrink it down a little bit. Okay, cool. Let's try this again. I pushed it too far into the wall. Huh. Oh, there it is. I was going to say, where is it? It's taking forever. Okay, cool. Touch the right side to move right. Touch the left side to move left. And then the wall shakes. And it's not moving. Huh. Why aren't you moving? Let's do... Huh. Let's try a position animation instead. Forget the move node. Let's try a position animation. There's multiple ways to skin a cat in Buildbox, and I do not easily give up. Okay. Position animation. Let's do target delta. Let's do like, I don't know, -5 over a 2-second period. Let's ignore this, and then let's try it again. All right, we're gonna get this. We're gonna get it right now. Welcome to phases. Touch the right side to move right. Touch the left side to move left. And move that wall. Ah, it's not moving. Why aren't you moving? It's shaking. That's so weird. Okay, real fast. Wave, position animation. Let's do linear here. Okay. I'm going to double check. How I did it before. There's got to be something up with here. So let's go ahead. I'm going to exit out of this real fast. I'm going to open up my Buildbox, my newer version of Buildbox. Okay. Ignore. Okay. Let's go back to Phases 3D. I'm just curious because I'm pretty sure I just did it the right way. So I must have done something weird. So this is called moving barrier. Oh, well, how about that? Yes, I did do this. I did do it right, but son of a gun. This is a cool trick. All right, I'm going to show you. When you run into these situations and you get cornered like this, and you're like, man, it's not position animation is not working, move's not moving, move's not working. What you do is you make it a child of another object that does move, and it works. Okay, so let's go ahead and exit out of this. I just needed a quick reminder, a little refresher. Okay, so I'm going to open up the Buildbox version that you're all using. Can't move it to can't change it to static, Criffy, because then it won't move the collision shape. I don't believe. And I do need the collision shape to move. All right, here we go. Here we go. Phases 3D live stream demo. We're back in action. Okay, so go to our 3D world. I'm going to call this move. I'm going to get one more cube randomly. Just call this moving barrier. Watch this. Watch this. This is a good little trick here. Call this moving barrier. Did I spell that correctly? Yeah. Okay. Barrier. I'm going to make it pink just because it's easier to see that way. I'll bring it out here. Does not matter. I'll bring it down. Might as well bring it down here. Static. I'll make it kinematic. And then we're going to have the move wall be I'm going to have move wall be a child of moving barrier. And now I'm going to go into moving barrier, and then I'll add in that delay of 12.4 seconds. Let's go ahead and make it 12.4 seconds. And then let's go ahead and start adding. At this point, you could use, I believe you could do move or position animation. Probably position animation's better because like move will just keep going on and on and on forever until like you move past the scene and then it's eventually deleted. But let's just do position animation. It's actually cleaner, I think, in my opinion. So Position animation. Where are you? Okay, cool. Position animation, moving the object. Let's move it -5, and let's move it over the course of 2 seconds, and we'll do a nice linear easing function. I'll show you a cool, like, another easing function later. That works good. Okay, cool. So everything is set up correctly, I believe. Let's go ahead and test her out again. Boom, 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 boom. Touch the right side to move right. Touch the left side to move left. All right, now move that wall. Ha 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 ha. Yes. Okay, cool. So let's take a look. So the wave vector is a little bit, it's too wobbly. I want it to go like just like rattle, like shake. We also need to move it further into the wall. Obviously, I don't want it to. I want it to just go right into the wall, and you don't see anything. And then, as far as how fast it moved, I think we can. Let's make those changes first, and then let's decide. Okay. So, as far as let's go with the move wall. Let's do the wave. Let's do a 0.05 with a. Let's crank this up to 35 on the speed. Forget this position animation. That's not doing anything. And then this guy, we got to make it go to like -7. And I think it needs to happen a little bit faster. So I'm going to do I'm going to do 1.5. Okay, cool. And then let's go check it out. Now, who's Devakiran Kumar? Somebody said I have doubt. What did you have doubt? I hope you didn't have doubt that I could make that wall move, because we just got it done. So don't ever doubt me, man. Don't ever doubt me. I'm joking. Okay, we got it working. For a second there, I was like, what the heck's going on? But no, this is working perfect. And let's just check to see now. So touch the left side, move left. Okay, that was too fast. So now it's moving a little bit too fast in my opinion. So let's change the duration to 2.5 seconds, and I think we're gonna be good. I'm gonna go ahead and save. Okay, so now we've got the wall moving. Let's go ahead and let's add in another scene. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit select my start scene in the bottom left, and I'm gonna hit D on my keyboard, and then I'm going to change it to, I'm going to name it 1, scene 1. And then I'm going to get rid of this wall, I'll get rid of this wall, and I'll get rid of this and the main character and the moving barrier, so that we just have like basic stuff, okay? So then we'll go ahead and hit start. I'm going to move the start of the scene though further down so that we have more space to work with. And then the end of the scene, I'm also going to move down a little bit too. Okay, cool. Now everybody save your games. Okay. All right. And so real quick, guys, I'm going to take just a tiny break. I'm just going to run to the restroom real quick. Last time I did a 2-hour live stream, I was dying. So I'm going to just take like a 2-minute break, run to the bathroom. I'm going to come back. I'm going to answer some questions, and then we're going to jump into this again, and we're going to do enemies, checkpoints, reversing gravity, buttons, and all that stuff. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. So give me 2 minutes, everybody. All right, we're back. Okay, lightning fast. Thankfully, the bathroom's right across the hall. Okay, let's go ahead and get back into it. So I'm gonna do a little bit of Q&A, just real fast. So let's go ahead and yeah. Does anybody have any questions right now? Okay, Rayman or Ray2Man. Do we do online trainings every day? No, we don't, but we might start increasing the frequency here pretty soon. Okay, so no questions right now, it looks like. I'm not seeing anything. So let's go ahead and just keep going. Or right here, there we go. Now we got a question. Can you post a video on game optimization? Because in Android phones, Buildbox games lags a lot. Yeah, sure. Actually, that's a good idea. Okay, optimization for games, because there are a bunch of little tricks that you can use to make your game perform better on devices. Like in BB2, there used to be like convert to clones and stuff like that, removing unnecessary assets and sound objects, and there's a bunch of stuff like that. So I'll make a optimizing your game for better performance. Video performance. Okay. What other questions we got right now? I can't move. The platformer Brainbox on the Z direction. Exists a possibility that works in that direction? You should be able to move the platformer in the Z direction. I would honestly, man, that one I would need to like go over with you like in person or like video or something like that. So yeah, no problem, Vishwas. What I suggest for right now is just emailing support@buildbox.com and we'll help you out. Okay, we'll take a look at why your platformer character is not working in the Z direction, because it should be. Okay, cool. The last release brought us FBX and it's pretty amazing. Anything you can tease for the next release? Oh man, I wish. Okay. I can kind of tease something, but it's not going to be, I don't know if it's going to be out in the next release, but Nick showed me something the other day that was so cool. It was so cool. Okay, so you know how the game like holes.io or hole.io by Voodoo, right? You know how there's like basically like you can move your hole around, right? And you can like as you move the hole around, like things can fall in there. We're adding that ability. Like you'll be, and that's just like the tip of the iceberg. That's just one example of like the types of things that you can do, but you'll be able to like, there's other things, but that was just like one really cool example is like, you can basically move, like have a hole, like moving around, and you could have like a moving hole target, you know what I mean? Like to try to like throw things through or something like that. So that's pretty cool. That's coming up. That's one that I've actually seen. Okay. There's a little teaser. Let's get back to some development. All right. Please also add fake multiplayer. Yeah. We were talking about that earlier. About the AI. About the AI. Okay, cool, guys. Let's go ahead and let's just check this out. Let's make sure that we're good to go again. Okay. Cool. Welcome to phases. Sweet. Touch the right side to move right. Touch the left side to move left. I might recommend, guys, messing with this just a little bit and maybe make it come out a little bit faster, just because I've been doing this a lot and it does feel like it takes a long time. All right, so now let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and add in some enemies again. So I'll bring in an enemy, make it a 0 position, so it's centered. And then I also liked the 0.6 on the scale because I thought that looked better. It's a little bit more like of an appropriate size. And then you have it grow out of the ground here. Let me zoom in so you can see this a little bit better. Yeah, get it in. Okay, there we go. All right, cool. And then let's add a couple more of these guys. Let's do 3. And this is all kind of part of the intro. This is where I'm going to show you about like avoid enemies. We're going to add in the avoid enemies right now. So let's go to, let's see here. I believe it's in the phases assets pack, the first one. And you see at the very top, it says avoid enemies. Go ahead and bring that sucker in and drop it in. Okay, cool. Let's bring out let's change the physics type to none. And, excuse me. And then let's go ahead and bring out avoid enemies. Let's bring it up. 90 degrees. Oops, that was 900. Okay, actually, let's switch it 90 and 90. Okay, and let's do -90. Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. So you want to rotate it 90 degrees in the X direction and then -90 in the Z direction. Okay, let's zoom in. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Ah, what are you doing, Zach? Okay, avoid enemies, make it bigger. Move it over. I don't like the shadow. We're going to get rid of that shadow. We're going to put avoid enemies here. And then we're going to shrink it down just a little bit. Ah, okay, this is cool. This is cool. So, because I did all that rotating thing, I'm trying to shrink it down like this, but I've done weird rotations. So what you got to do is you got to turn on the axis, align axis, and then you can go ahead and just do that, and it's way easy. And then you can turn it off. So that's a little trick. Okay. Let's go ahead and make it so that the 3D model does not cast shadows. So I just turn off cast shadows. And then here we go. Okay, cool. We've got avoid enemies. All right, perfect. Let's add in, let's go ahead and hit another D on our keyboard and do scene 2. Let's name it scene 2. Okay. Now, press play. Let's go ahead and press play and let's just make sure that everything's looking good. Okay. Welcome to phases. Touch the right side to move right. Touch the left side to move left. Move the wall. Okay, we can shorten the scene a little bit, as you can tell. Avoiding enemies. Ah, the touch right side was copied over too into the next scene, so we got to get rid of that one. Okay, cool. So that's good test. So here, where it says intro text in the second scene, get rid of it. Just hit delete. I just deleted it, and do the same thing with the second scene too, because I copied it over there too. Okay, so let's go ahead and shrink this. Let's move the start scene back a little bit. Move the start scene back just a little bit so that we come up on the avoid enemies a little bit sooner, because I felt like there was too much space. And then let's go here. Let's get rid of avoid enemies. Here, let's move the starts. Let's move the start of the start scene over a little bit more. Let's get rid of the enemies on this one, and then we'll also get rid of avoid enemies. Let's bring in collect gems. So now we're gonna start. I'm gonna teach you how to collect gems. So phases part 2 assets. So everybody get your phases part 2 assets out. And then you want to grab the collect gems the OBJ file, drop that in there. Okay. Now let's go ahead and twist this sucker around just like we did before. I'm going to do -90 in the Z direction. Awesome. Let's make this bigger. Grab the yellow, make it bigger, and then also shrink it down. Oops, wrong direction. Yep, shrink it down a little bit. And then we'll move it up and over. And then we'll go in here and we'll make sure that the physics type is set to none. And we'll make it so that the 3D model does not cast a shadow. I don't know why. I just don't like I think it looks cleaner without the shadows. Okay, cool. So I'm going to show you something really cool right now. I'm going to show you how to add gems, and I'm going to also show you like a quick like manipulation of the animation nodes, so that I think you get like a kind of a cooler animation. So let's go over here to Asset Library. Let's go to Assets, and then you see Diamond right here. This is going to be what we're going to use for gems. So we're going to double click on Diamond. Okay, I'm also going to make one copy of diamond as well. I'm going to hit select diamond. I'm going to hit D on my keyboard and create a second diamond. This is because I'm going to use this as for a label, okay? But for right now, just don't worry about it. So I'm going to go into the diamond, and personally for this game, like I really like all these animations actually, but for this one, I thought about doing the animation a little bit differently. So I'm going to just show you what I've got. First, let me show you what we currently have, I guess, so you can see that. So I'm going to call this gems, or gem. And you know what would be cool is you could probably have different colored gems and have like some gems be worth more. That would be cool. You can change the color of this gem super easy. So let's go ahead, bring this in, put it at 0. I also would like it to be maybe like 0.7, 0.7, 0.7, a little bit smaller. And then let's go ahead and do a couple of these guys. I also don't like it when I don't like the 3D models casting shadows either. Or, yeah, I don't like it. We're getting rid of the shadows. Okay, now let's take a look at what this looks like. So I'm going to just test out this scene. Oh, we need to make it shorter. We need to make them go lower. That's too tall. Okay. Here we go. That'll be easy. I'm going to go ahead and save my game because we've done a ton of work. And then I'm going to go ahead and save up my backup file as well. I'm going to go ahead and hit save and then replace. Give that a second. Okay. And we're good to go. Okay, cool. Now, let's go ahead and test out the scene. Okay, so you see, like, there's a gold. Okay, do you see how, like, it turns gold, and then also there's like this little platform so that it looks like it's like you're like a little, almost like a water drop, and it comes up. I wasn't crazy about the platform myself, just not for this one. I actually think it would look super cool if I had the gems on the ground, but I don't. So that's the thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go into the gem animation, and I'm going to get rid of this animation, that glowy one. I liked this one. I'm actually going to double up on that one. Or I'll hold off on that first. I'm going to keep this animation because that gives it the nice crystal look. And then I'm going to get rid of this animation because I just don't think it's necessary. And then I'm going to increase the animation here to 1.5 and 1.5 because I want it to be a little bit bigger. The color animation, I kind of wanted it to be more blue too, like a nicer blue color. Let's see if that works. And then finally, I'm going to make a second one, and I think I might even raise it up a little bit. We'll see. Let's go ahead and just test that out for right now. So let's take a look at what the animation looks like now. Ooh, okay, so that was a little bit too dark of a blue. We want to go with more of like a turquoise, I think, in my opinion. So I messed up the blue. Let's go with something more like that, I think is what we're looking for. And I think we might be done now. Let's take a look. Ooh, that's not bad. That's really not bad. Yeah, I might even go, I might lift it up just a little bit, like 0.1 and 0.1 here. And, oh, that's why the other one, it looked weird. Okay, this one here. Let's make this one also the same color. I was going to say, wasn't it a little bit off? Okay, let's go ahead and test this out again. Now it should look really clean. Ah, interesting. Okay, I like it. Let's do some additive blending here. I'm curious what this will look like. Yeah. And you can experiment with this. For right now, I think we're good. Yeah, there it is. Boom. That's it. That's the color. Like, that is clean. It's like exactly the right color. Yeah, additive blending. That was what I was missing. Okay, cool. So now we're collecting gems. Now let's make it so that we can actually see the gems being collected in the top left, okay? So, first thing we're going to do is I'm going to call this gem label. Gem label. Now, I haven't actually got this working perfectly, but I wanted to show it to you anyways because I think it's cool and I think it does work well. So I'm going to bring out a gem label here, and let's bring it out into the scene. Okay. And you know what? Actually, let's go ahead. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it from this scene. I'm going to paste it into this scene. I want to start off with this scene. And then I'm going to go ahead and move the gem label so that it is a child of the camera. Okay? A child of the camera. Now, the reason why is because I want to make it so that it's a label and it moves with the camera as the gameplay goes. So let's go ahead and just test this out. Okay, so you can't see the gem yet, so let's see what's going on there. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Left and left. Where are you, gem? Why aren't you showing up? Okay, let's take a look. Okay. Bring it out a little bit more. Okay. Where are you? Oops. Okay, let's grab the gem again. Oops. Okay, why aren't you working? Let's try and find it. We'll find it. Okay. Almost there. Alright. Try it again. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Huh. That is so weird. Oh, and it's not letting me move it either. Okay. Let's see what's going on. Let's take a look. I'm going to move it out from being a child anymore. Okay, cool. Let's see here. Is it in the scene? Alright, awesome. Now, the part that gets funky is you move it up and you move it to the right, and then once you make it a child of the camera, like you'll see that it looks fine, like right here. Like when you place it, it actually looks really good. Right? That looks fantastic, actually. But let's go ahead. But it's weird when you take it, gem label, and you make it a child of the camera, it completely changes the position of it, I believe. Okay. So yeah. There you are. I was looking for you. Okay, gotcha. That little stinker was giving me some trouble. Alright, cool. So you see how it's a little bit tilted too. So let's go ahead and fix that rotation up. So there we go. Glad we found it. So let's go to the gem label, and then I'm going to go in here. I'm going to get rid of these other animations because they're just unnecessary. Like all of these animations are pretty much unnecessary. We don't need them adding points or worrying about colliding. The rotating's good, but the rotating needs to happen like a little bit differently. So I think it needs to rotate. Let's see here. Let's see here. Let's go into our game. This little guy, our little gem. Damn. Crash. Okay. Well, that happens. Happens sometimes when you're pushing the software a little bit harder. Yes, exactly. Zayda, it's a... Yeah. I removed it from the character and checked. All right, that was a real crash, so that's a bummer. Hopefully, I can't remember the last time we saved, so this is why we saved like crazy. But I think we're gonna be good. So let's open up Buildbox again. Okay, let's go ahead and hit send. Save that in. Let's open up the Buildbox Livestreams demo again. Oh man, that's a bummer. We just had that sucker all done. Okay. Well, at least we got that done. Let's check to make sure that we got the animation fixed up as well. That's still working. Okay, so we need to still fix the animations again. All right, but at least we know how to do it. Super fast. So I'll go in here, gem. I will delete this animation, delete this one. We'll do additive blending, big color, nice beautiful color, 1.5, 1.5. And then let's do a second one. Or also let's raise it up by 0.2 and then do a second one. All right. Save our game. Let's make sure that that's working cool. That looks great. Now, name this gem label. Save. Start scene. Bring it back up here again. Okay. Bring it out. Make it a child of make it a child of the camera again. And then let's go ahead and reposition it. Okay. Okay, there we go. Looking good. Looking good. Okay, exit out of here. Save our game. Okay, cool. All right, let's go ahead and set up. Let's set up the rotation a little bit better. So I think what needs to happen is that, let's see here. How is it currently rotating? Let's take a look at that. So it's rotating like this, okay? And that's because of the rotation of the camera. So the rotation of the camera has -23 there. Okay, so let's try this. Let's try our gem label. Let's try -23 in the rotation here. Let's try, or 23, I should say. Okay, let's take a look at that. Interesting. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to get rid of the rotation for a second. And gem label moved. All of a sudden it jumped up a bunch of spots. Great. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get rid of this animation. Let's get rid of the points just like we did last time. Okay, I'm going to hit save. What? Oh, yeah. Save like crazy. All right, let's get rid of the rotation thing until we can get this figured out. So let's get that. Let's get this sucker going here. Let's rotate it so that it's looking good. Damn. Okay, crash again. Okay. We're gonna leave the gem label just how it is. We're not gonna mess with it too much more, I don't think. Okay, because I'm just asking for problems now. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, phases live stream. No more crashes. That's right. No more crashes. Gosh darn it. Okay. 3D world. We didn't go too far. It's fine. For right now, I'm not super crazy about the the way it's spinning, but we'll just leave it how it is for right now. I'm gonna just change the animation here to I'm gonna just make it stop spinning for right now. Let's get rid of this animation, and then I'm gonna hit save, and then we're good. Okay. Now go into your mind map again, then go over to your game world UI. And we're going to add in a label. So we're going to go over here to labels, and we're going to go to default font, and we're going to add in a score label. And we're going to change the function to score. We'll change the world to all. We'll keep the world as or let's actually change the world to current world. Let's change points to coins, the amount to current. For alignment, left is what I usually like. And then I also I don't want to go with a default font. So we're going to go here to the font editor, and we're going to add in a new font. We'll call it Phases font. And then we'll do a main color here. The main color I want dark. I want like a really, really dark color, and then I don't want a gradient because I want the dark color to show up over the white. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and exit out of this. That saves the font. Now we can go over here to default font and change it to Phases font. And then let's go ahead and place it. Let's play our game and then move it so that it's placed perfectly. Okay, cool. So you can see the 0 is right there. Let's go ahead and make it a little bit bigger. Also, if you want to make things come in with a little bit more clarity, you can do font size. You can go a little bit like higher. You can do something like 80, and then exit out. And then when you and then you can play it and shrink it down, and it comes out a little bit more crisp. You'll notice. So let's go here. A little bit nicer. Okay, cool. Something like that. And then we're going to get rid of the shadow. So let's go over here to gem label. Let's go to these 3D models and let's turn off cast shadow. Okay. Very awesome. Now let's go ahead and play our game again. Okay, it's looking good. Welcome to Phases. And then we just need to make sure that when we are collecting the gems, when we're collecting the gems, we want to make sure that we're adding points. So the default add point node that we're using with the diamond that comes with the smart assets, you don't want to use that one because it doesn't have the option to add coins. So we're just going to delete that one, and we're going to add in a new add point node that's a little bit more updated. We'll add in an add point node, and we'll enable it so that right now we can add in coins. And I'm going to go ahead and just add in global so that you can use the coins outside of this world too. Okay? And I'm going to call this add coins instead of add points. Okay. Now let's go ahead and save our game again. And let's test it out. Let's see if we can actually collect gems. Okay. The wall is moved. We're going to avoid the enemies. Collect gems. Boom. We got the 3 gems. It's working. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to show you. It's 1 o'clock, so we've been doing this for 2 hours. Hey, Ala, I can see your comments on YouTube. You're asking why isn't there a plus option? Currently, we took down the plus option because we're going to rework it, and we're considering reworking the pro version as well. So just hold tight with that. We're gonna have that hopefully done as soon as possible. Okay, but yeah, I know a lot of you missed that, and we're working on it. We hear you. Okay. I'm gonna do one more thing today because we've already done a lot, and we've come a long way, and we're starting to kind of run out of time. So I'm gonna show you one more cool thing to do that's probably gonna take about 10 or 15 minutes or something like that. And with it is a super cool node that I hope that you can use on your other games. Okay, so we're going to do reverse gravity, which is gonna be sweet. Okay, cool. So let's do it. So. I'm going to go over here to my second scene, and I'm going to hit D on my keyboard. Yep, there you go, D on my keyboard, and copy the scene. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the collect gems right here. Don't need that, and I don't need these gems anymore. Oh, wait, actually, yeah, I will need the gems. I take that back, because I'm going to reverse the gravity and then so that you can collect gems from up above. So that's actually kind of cool. So I will show you that. Okay, and then let's go ahead and I'm going to create my a reverse gravity like symbol. So I'm going to use a cylinder, double click on a cylinder and bring it into my node map, or into my library here. And then I'm going to bring a cylinder out. Let's go ahead and, stretch it up. So I'm going to make it 0 in the x-axis. I'm also going to make it bigger this way, like this. I'm going to shrink it down to about like right here, something like 0.6-ish. I'm going to go with 0.6 again. I do need it to stretch all the way up to the top, so I'm going to leave it a little bit longer. And then, let's see here. Do I make this static? Yes, I do make this static. Okay, cool. We're going to call this reverse gravity. Okay. I'm also going to just very, very quickly go over here to the phases part 2 assets, and I'm going to grab the reverse gravity 3D model that I made here, and I'm going to just drop it in here and use it. Okay. So let's do a rotation of 90 in the X, and then negative 90 in the Z. Let's make it bigger. Let's also shrink it down a little bit. So make it bigger and then tuck it in just a little bit and then lift it up. There we go. I think that's actually good. Let's make the scene a little bit longer. We're going to need more space here for this one. So start is going to start over here. The end, I'm going to make this a little bit longer, and I'm going to stretch these out as well. So just bring this over here, bring this one over here. You can also group all 3 of them together, and they all stretch out evenly together if you want to do it that way too. Then I'm going to move those gems over here and up at the top so that you can't get them unless you reverse gravity. Okay. Next, let's go ahead and change the reverse gravity, the look of reverse gravity. What we're going to do is we're going to add a color. I'm going to make it yellowish color, kind of yellow. And then I'm going to turn the opacity down. Now, this is a cool thing that Nick showed me that I want you guys to all pay attention to. Okay, I'm going to take the opacity down on the color, and what that does is it adds blending options. So I'm going to go here, and I see, watch when I take the opacity down from less than 100. And do you see how it's like, I don't know if you saw like the little flash or whatever, but then it added this extra blending option. Let me take the opacity, take it back up to 100, and it's gone. Then I lower the opacity, and it's back. Okay, it's cool. Just wanted to show you guys that. Now I'm going to press OK. I'm going to change it to be additive, and I'm going to do another 3D model here like this, and I'm going to just kind of change the color just slightly, maybe like more of like an oranger color. Opacity here, yeah, slightly like that. Okay, that looks good. Both are additive. I'm going to take them both off of casting shadows because I don't like casting shadows. And I think we're good. I think we're going to be okay with that. Okay, let's take a look. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. I just want to see what this looks like in the scene now, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and press play. Okay, cool. But they both are set. They're both set to dynamic, so we need to fix that right now. So let's go ahead and do that. So reverse gravity, we're going to set this to none because we don't want that moving. And then this reverse gravity, which is the cylinder, we just want that to be static. Okay, cool. And then let's also check the collision shape and make sure that when we change the 3D model that the collision shape didn't get all wonky. Okay, cool. We're good on there. And then let's go ahead and press play. Let's test it out. Okay, cool. So that's going to be like our reverse gravity. Like once you hit that, once you go through that, gravity is going to be reversed. So I'm going to just quickly show you like how, I'm going to give you like an arrow that we can like fire off so that you can actually see like those, that you can tell that it's actually going upwards. So let's go over here to our asset library. Let's go to a triangle. Let's add in a triangle. We're going to use it as an arrow. And let's go ahead and name it arrow. Arrow. We're going to leave it, we're going to change the physics type to be none. And then now let's go into our arrow. Let's add in another 3D model, but let's change the mesh to be a cube. And then let's see here. How's the scale on this one? That's fine. Let's lower the position a little bit on the cube. So we'll do -2. Okay, let's take a look at that. That's good, but we want to do -1.5. It looks like. Okay, cool. So that's on it, and then we'll scale it down so that it is 0.5. Cool. Let's scale this down to 0.7. Yeah, 0.7, and then let's raise this up to 1.7. Oops, sorry, 1.3. 1.3. Interesting. 1.2. Okay, cool. That looks good. Let's change this to 0.5. I'm just making a quick arrow here. And then let's shrink this down a little bit further. Let's do 0.3. Let's do 0.25. Okay, cool. That looks good. Okay, cool. So we're going to just use this as an arrow. I might shrink down this to 0.6. Oops, not that one. 0.7. And then make this maybe 0.4. Okay, cool. I like that better. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is we're just going to have some arrows just going like this. Just going like boom, boom, boom. Peter, I can actually show you. I can do checkpoints too today. You know what? I can fit that in. Let's do checkpoints. So let's make sure checkpoints happen today too. All right. So we'll do both. We'll do reverse gravity and then we'll end with checkpoints. But I'm not going to be able to do the push button today, and I'm not going to be able to do the unlocking doors yet today because that actually does take a little bit of time to set up. But okay, here we go. So now what I want to do. So I've got this arrow here set up. And then what I want to do is that once the arrow is set up, I want it to go flying up through the checkpoint, but then after a while, I just want it gone. I don't want to worry about it anymore after I'm done looking at it. So I'm going to change, I'm going to add in a delay, and then I'm going to add in a remove. So I'm going to set it up so that once it's created, there's like a 5-second delay. Or maybe let's do 6-second delay just to be safe, and then it's going to be gone. It's just going to be removed. Okay? And then I'm going to go to Asset Library. I'm going to go to Cube here. And then I'm going to first I'm going to check to see where I want these arrows showing up. So let's go ahead. Let's get this arrow looking good. Okay. So they both need to be rotated. Actually, it does need to be rotated. So let's go ahead and actually just do that real fast. Okay. Let's rotate this 90 degrees. And rotate this one 90 degrees. All right, we're good. Now, this looks good. Let's also, let's probably make this a little bit smaller. Yeah, something like that. And then move it in. Okay, cool. Now, I kind of liked the look of it so that it was showing up like right outside of it. Let's also make this a little bit bigger too. It's a little too small. Okay, cool. There's that. Now let's move this over. Get this a little bit more centered. Right on. That looks good. No, I don't want any shadows. So we're going to get rid of the cast shadow. Okay. And that looks good. Now let's make sure the starting position on the X is important. Okay, the starting position on the X is 0.571. So I'm just going to try to remember that. Okay, next, we're going to do a cube here. And we're going to do 0.571. And this is going to be the arrow spawner. Okay, so 0.571. I'm going to have it go underneath the ground. I'm going to make sure the physics type is set to nothing. And then the second that this thing is created, we're going to have it spawn some, we're going to have it, or we're going to actually have a timer. I'm sorry, a timer. So timer. Just search for timer real fast. Okay, cool. So the second it's created, we're going to spawn. And then once it's done, we're going right back to spawning it again. Okay, so that just keeps going over and over and over. And we'll do something like 0.3 to start off with. And then the number of events, we'll do like 10,000 or something like that, so that there's plenty of events. Okay, and then we're going to spawn that arrow. So go down, spawn the arrow, and then save. And then I think we're good. Now the last thing that we have to do is make it so that the arrow is moving upwards. So let's change the arrow. Let's add in some movement upwards in the Y direction. So 0 there. And then let's have it moving like by like 7 or something like that. And let's go into our 3D world. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of the arrow, like our mock arrow. Let's also change so that the reverse gravity is not casting a shadow. Okay, we're good there. And then let's hit save. We just did a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, save the game. Save the game. And you know what? Heck, let's do a backup save. Might as well. Okay, let's go ahead and press play. Oops, let's actually just test out this scene. Okay, cool. So here's the deal. They're spawning a little bit too fast, and they're too big. So that's one thing that we need to shrink down. So let's see if we can do anything with that with the spawner here. Ignore scale. Let's see here. Let's ignore the scale. Let's try this. Let's try. No, actually, no. We do need to fix the scale. We do need to fix the scale. So let's go to cube here. Let's get rid of the ignore scale part. Let's call this arrow spawner. Arrow spawner. Okay. And then let's go here. Let's change the 3D model so that it is a little bit smaller. So let's do 0.2 and then 0.3, or oops, let's do 0.4 and then 0.2, or this is going to be weird, it's going to be like 0.05, and then let's do this one, make this one a lot smaller too. So 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. Okay, cool. You can just make the spawner smaller. I was thinking about that actually. I was like, you know what? Wait, what if I just make the spawner smaller, and then you can ignore, and then I think you can forget the whole ignoring scale thing. Okay, so let's just do that. Good save, gamer, Zaid Gamer. Nice job. I was thinking about that. I was like, wait. Okay, so arrow spawner. Rename it arrow spawner because I actually went too far back. I did a bunch of Control Z's. Okay, arrow spawner. Shrink her down. Good save. Okay. Oops, let's test that out. Uh-oh. Okay, I need to save my game. Okay. 3D world. Save it. Okay, cool. I like it. It's a little bit smaller, a little bit better. All right. So arrow spawner here. Let's make it even a little bit more smaller. And then go up to the arrow and the spawner and make the timer be something like 0.8. Okay. 3D world. Okay. That looks all right. I think we can go even smaller than that, honestly. So let's go smaller. Yeah, 0.5, and then there we go. Good job, guys. Okay, let's go ahead and let's press play. I really appreciate the help on that, Zaid Gamer. Okay, actually, this is more of like what I was really looking for, and then I just need to like move it over just a tiny bit, and then we're good. Okay, I'm thinking this is gonna work. Watch. Okay, I moved it over just a little bit too much, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. Okay, cool. So now we've got the setup. Now let's actually make like the reverse gravity node happen. Okay. So we're going to call this reverse gravity. And let's go to the main character. The main character here. So we're going to say that we're going to make another if collide node. If collide, where are you? Actions, if collide. And if I collide with reverse gravity, okay, we're going to call this if collide with reverse gravity. Reverse gravity. Okay, and we're going to change the affected asset to be reverse gravity. And then also we're going to change the collision shape to be a sphere, which we'll have to shrink down a little bit later. I think we need to shrink it down to 0.5. So let's just do that right now. Might as well. So the scale is going to be 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. Or 0.51 if you want to be exact. But okay, now I'm going to make a new node. I'm going to make a new node called set gravity is what I'm calling it. And we're going to do that right now. Okay, so the way we're going to do this is we're going to go to script and we're going to call this set gravity. Set gravity. Awesome. We're going to edit this guy and we're going to add in a little red input here. And I'm going to edit it and call this enabled. And then hit enter. And then this is pretty cool. So I'm going to, let's see here. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so I need to save my game right now because the add attribute option is not showing up, and it should be. So that means something Buildbox is not happy right now. So I'm going to exit out of all this stuff. And I have a hunch that when sometimes these tabs are a little bit, that Buildbox might not like all these tabs because they're kind of new. That's just my hunch. Okay, now arrow spawner, where are you? Your main character. Set gravity. Huh. Edit button. There you go. I just needed to hit the edit button. There was nothing wrong with Buildbox. That's me. Okay, sorry, my bad, guys. Okay, so we're going to hit the edit button, and then we're going to add attribute. All right, now we're going to add in a vector 3D. And this is so that we can change the gravity to go in the X direction, the Y direction, or the Z direction, whichever one you want. Now, currently, we've got a gravity force of let's take a look. It's negative 25 in the Y direction. So we're going to send it upwards, and we're going to call it negative 25 in the Z direction. I'm sorry, negative 25 or positive 25 in the Y direction. So let's go main character, set gravity to positive 25. Okay, and we'll call this let's call it gravity or gravitational pull or gravitational force, or just let's call it force. Or yeah, force. Okay. Force. Thank you. All right. Now, first thing we need to do is we need to initialize this this variable. So we're gonna call this. We're gonna do an underscore gravity, or we're gonna just have let underscore gravity. And I don't even think we need to do anything else. I think maybe just equals 0 or something, but no, we just let underscore gravity. That's all we need right now to start off with. Okay. Then we'll go ahead and pick up the attribute, which I'm going to steal a little bit of code right here. This is easy. Okay, cool. I'm going to hook that up and then go here, go into the initialization function, and I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to say that that underscore gravity is equal to force, is equal to the attributes that you find under the force label. So that's why I'm putting in force here, because now it's going to set whatever numbers I've got here for force. It's going to set it to underscore gravity. And then once the signal is sent in, we're going to do this scene dot set gravity, and I'm gonna actually show you guys where I got this from. Oh, thank you, Hugh. All right. Alrighty. We are back. Thank you, Hugh. We're back to live. Yeah, G-Force. Ooh, G-Force. That's probably actually cooler. I like that. We should have named it G-Force. I wish I had seen that sooner. Okay, I want to show you guys, though. I'm going to save real fast. I want to show you where I got the set gravity node, okay? So I'm going to go over here to help, and then I'm going to go to the JavaScript API reference. And I'm just going to show you this real fast. Super useful if you want to just like make some of your own nodes, or if you want to experiment with scripting or whatever. So I'm just going to go to just like search for gravity. That's all I'm going to do. And then you can see like okay, here's this little scene blurb, and it has something about like set gravity. Like maybe I'll check that out, you know. And so then I'll just go here and I'll click set gravity. I'll scroll down. And maybe here at this point you do like Command F or Control F, and you just like search for gravity. That's another way to kind of like just jump down to it, and then you can see set gravity, and you have to just set it for the X, Y, and Z. Okay, so I'm gonna exit out of there. Pretty sure we're good on that. I'm gonna exit out of there. So I just need to set it to the X, Y, and Z that I want. So I'm gonna set it to _gravity dot X, comma, _gravity dot Y, comma, and _gravity dot Z. And so basically, when we had gravity like assigned to this attribute, it attached all the values of 0, 25, and 0 to that _gravity variable. Okay, so that's and then we do the .x, .y, and .z to reference them. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this up so that once we collide, that we set the gravity. Okay, and we're just going to test this right now, and press save. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's go to our gravity one, reverse gravity. Let's test it out. So when I go through this, the gravity should be switched. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it was switched, but it couldn't go through. It, and I wonder why. I wonder if that's because. Let's take a look real fast. So reverse gravity. Maybe we actually won't use the static physics type, or if we do use a static physics type, I'm going to do a funky little trick here. Okay, let's take a look. All right, let's take a look. So if I hit none, it's not going to collide through it. Okay, cool. So this is what we'll do. We'll create a second reverse gravity node, I think. Actually, I liked the way I did it before, so let me just check my old game real fast just to make sure, because I'm gonna show you a trick where I remove it and I spawn another one, but I kind of like this. So let me make sure that is how I did it. So I'm gonna exit out of this Buildbox version. I'm gonna go over here to my current version of Buildbox, and then I'm gonna take a look. Okay. Hey, thanks, Hugh, for having my back, by the way, on the Instagram. How does default gravity work? It's just going to go negative 9.8 meters per second, basically, is like almost. But yeah, that's the. You can use kinematic physics type. But will it go through it? But I want it to be able to go through it, is the thing. Let me try this again. Okay, so phases 3D. Let me double check on how I did this. All right, 1 second. Reverse gravity. Interesting. Okay. Reverse gravity upwards, and we have it set to static. And then it collides with the character, and it sets the gravity, but then what happens when you collide, when the character collides with it? Is it still just stays the same? So, barrier, reverse gravity. Okay, let's try it. It says here that if we keep it as static type, we'll be able to just set the gravity. It should be fine. Yeah. Huh, interesting. So static should have worked. That's weird. Okay, let's exit out of here. Okay, let's open up your version of Buildbox again. Okay, come on. Alrighty, let's go ahead. Hey, look at this. Look at that. There's an update. You guys asked me, when is the next update coming? Well, how about now? Update is in the middle of the live stream. That is so cool. I'm not going to switch to the update just yet, but you definitely should. I'll switch to the update here pretty soon. Okay, 1 second, guys. I got to deal with this. Okay. All right, cool. Let's go back to our live stream demo. It's so weird that my little thing didn't work. Let's change the set gravity though. Let's make it so that instead of using the set gravity here, that's weird. Phases live stream demo. That's weird. Okay, maybe I opened up the wrong one. Let's do the backup file actually. There you are. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna actually cut this node, right? or copy it and get rid of it, and I'm gonna paste it into the reverse gravity. Our reverse gravity. Here we go. Okay, I'll paste it in, set gravity, and we'll set it so that when it collides, and we got a cylinder. Okay, cool. Yeah, it should be fine. It should be able to set the gravity just fine. All right, and now I'm going to delete this and delete this. Okay, cool. I'm going to hit save. Okay, let's try this out. That is so bizarre. Interesting. Okay. When it collides with the affected asset character. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the 3D world. Why wouldn't this work? The gravity is working. That part's fine. There's something else that's not really working. Let's see here. Okay. That is a little strange. The affected asset's character, you're able to go through it just fine. Yeah. The code looks good. The gravity is working. So the main issue is that the ball is hitting the reverse gravity, and it's supposed to pass through it, is the thing. And instead of it passing through it, it is, let's see here. The physics type of the cylinder is static, and the thing is the physics type of the cylinder in my other game was static too, but it went through somehow. So, okay, let me try none. Try setting no physics and have that collide for the collision shape. Yeah, I'm thinking the collision shape's the problem, but okay, let's take a quick look at this guy. So here's our reverse gravity collision shape, right? Let's take a look. Okay, so it doesn't even have one right now. Okay, so that's done. Let's try this again. Interesting. That is so interesting. Okay. What is going on? The physics type of the cylinder is static. And now it's none. Let's try static again. Or maybe kinematic. It's bizarre. It's super bizarre. Alright, let's try this again. Well, you can see the gravity's working at least. Huh. Why is the other one able to pass through and this one's not? Rescale the collider shape in the cylinder to start from the middle. Put it to none and add an if collide. Okay, well that's fine. Let's try that. That might actually be it. Let's try that. I was thinking about that too. So, okay, grabbing this guy. It does have a collision shape now. Let's try making it a little bit smaller. Quite a bit smaller. Okay. There's any collision on BB3 like pass through one side of collision. Oh, quick question for everybody, and that's is there any way to edit a collision shape so that you're able to pass through in one direction? I believe there is, but I don't know it off the top of my head. I'd have to get back to you on that. I'll write that down right now on the list. Pass through objects in one direction. I'm pretty sure you can do that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's see. That is so bizarre. It's hitting that collision shape. So, okay. I'm going to exit out of this. I'm going to take one more look at my game file, and then if I can't figure it out, I'm going to use another trick that is not really what we should be doing. This should work. Okay, so let's take a close look here. Why is this working? And I hope to God it's not just because it's an update. Okay, so reverse gravity upwards. Let's make sure I've got this in my scene. So, okay, reverse gravity. That's fine. All right. Okay, nothing else. Nothing crazy here. We've got the arrow up downer, arrow up spawner and the arrow down spawner. Okay, reverse gravity upwards. Let's take a look at. Okay, no, that's good. Reverse gravity upward looks good. The collision shape is, it's set to static. The friction's 0.5. The bounce is 0.1. The mass is 1. Everything is the same. Everything is the same. And in fact, the collision shape is a little bit bigger. I made it a little bit bigger so that when you hit it early, it goes, you know, it triggers it early on. Use if collide instead of the collider. You think all right. Let's try this. Okay, reverse gravity upwards though. Like set gravity. The same. The gravity is the same. Like this code is all the same, pretty much. Yeah, that's the same. The models are fine. They should be fine. Yeah. The cylinder, okay. Huh. and then there's nothing that's triggered. There's nothing special that's being triggered in the main for the main character. So, yeah, there's nothing special happening there. That is bizarre. That is super weird. Okay, can you send a version of this current BB doc real quick? I'm gonna send it afterwards. I'll send the BB doc after to you guys. Let's get back to it. I'm gonna try like a couple more little tweaks right now, but then I'm gonna give up on this, and I'm gonna teach you guys how to do the checkpoint now instead. No big deal. We'll figure this out. Okay, come on now. Let's go. What is happening here? Okay. This thing's fine. Honestly, the scale should be fine. Like, I should be able to do, like, the other one's big too. Like, I should be able to have it be just a little bit bigger. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Alright, now we're good on the collision shape. It should be fine. Then I go here. What if I... The only thing that I could think of is that the color was green. That is not it. That cannot be it. Okay, collide with character, static, cylinder, everything else is the same. Okay, so make it, I tried making it no physics, and then you said add an if collide that detects the player. I was thinking about that too, but the problem is that the collision shape will still stay there. It won't move. Let's try it. I'll try it though. I'll try it. Huh. Maybe the arrows are getting in the way? Is it the arrows? No. There's no collision shape on this guy. Let's try an if collide node. Heck, let's try it. If collide. If collide with the character. Check the character. And then change this to a cylinder. And fix the collision shape. Okay. Alright, here we go. Like, because what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to remove it and then respawn another one, and I don't really want to do that, but I will if I have to. It's annoying. Huh. That is strange. Okay, main character. Alright, main character is in the character group. We're good. Okay. Alright guys, I'm gonna have to move on. I'm gonna have to move on to another to explain the checkpoint, because this isn't working. But what's so weird is that this is how I make the checkpoint work too. Yeah, I'm trying to... Okay, so now remove physics, right? So now we remove physics. Okay, let's try that. Yes! Okay. Hot dog. But if I remove physics, then what happened to the if collide node? Is that one also removed as well? No, the if collide is working, and connect to created, not to collided. But why created? Wait, why connect to created? Because I wanted to hit it and then switch to I want to hit it and then switch to oh, yeah, that's what you're talking about. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so stupid. Sorry, man. Okay, now I see what you're saying. Okay. Yes. Boom. Smart penguins. You're a smart penguin right there, my friend. Yes, well done. Okay, cool. Thank you. You just saved the day. Woo! Smart payment called it. Yes, created. You guys are right. I got it. You know what? Sometimes you got to tip your cap, and I'm gonna have to just tip my cap right here. Okay. So Peter, this is what I was trying to do. Basically, I was trying to make it so that here I'll show you real fast. So what do we got? What barrier do we have right here? Right? We've got a barrier up at the top. So let's make it so the main character. Let's do this. Let's do another if collide node. We'll do if collide with barrier. And then let's do another jump node. Let's get rid of these guys. Let's do a jump -17. And then we'll check to see if it's colliding with the barrier. Where you are. Okay, barrier. Okay, I'll hit save. Cap tipped, man. I almost said cat tipped, but yeah, no. Dude, thank you. That was well done, man. I was like, something must have been, something was off. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, this is all I wanted to show. This is all I wanted to show you guys. We've been working on this for like 20 minutes. Okay, basically, you go through this, and the gravity is switched. Woo! And then you go there. And then you notice the camera kind of jumped a little bit. Let's make it so that the fall threshold is 13 instead, and then that'll be better. Okay, cool. So then we're going to do this one more time. We're going to make a copy of the reverse gravity. Let's see here. Okay, reverse gravity. We'll make another copy. Damn it. Ah, darn it. Dang it, I didn't save it either. Son of a gun. Okay. Buildbox, you're beating me up today. Okay, well, I'm gonna get back to where we were. Good night. Oh lordy. After let's see if this will be a good test for me. See if I can do what we just did again. Okay. Reverse gravity. Collide created. Good. Set gravity. Okay, let's make sure that this is all working again. Save again. Alright, let's try this again. Come on. Perfect. Okay. Let's fix the camera to be 13. Let's go to reverse gravity. I'm also actually going to go ahead and do another save as and do another backup save. Just because we are, you guys have been here with me. It's stuff happens, sometimes. So whatever. I don't know if I want to necessarily hit duplicate, but I'm going to try it. Please don't crash. Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, so reverse gravity. This one, we're going to call this reverse gravity downwards. Okay, this one we'll call it, yeah, that's fine. Reverse gravity downwards. Let's bring this one out into the scene as well. Okay, we'll make it 0. Make it taller here. What's the scale on this one? It's 0.684. Let's do 0.684 for this one so that they're the same. 0.684. 0.684, and then let's just stretch this sucker up. Okay, beautiful. Okay, we'll do let's do another arrow spawner. Okay, so we'll do I'll hit save real fast. Okay, I'm gonna hit D on my keyboard and do another arrow spawner. We'll do this. Call this arrow spawner downwards. Okay. Let's make another copy of this arrow and let's go down arrow. Call this one up arrow. Okay. Now let's set up, okay, arrow spawner downwards. Just put this right here. Let's see here. How big did we make the other one? Arrow spawner there is 0.53, 0.53, 0.53. Okay. So 0.531 all across the board. 0.531 all across the board. 0.531 all across the board. Here we go. Okay, and then the other one is, the position is 0.571. So let's do that, 0.571, and then we'll line it up along the z-axis after that too. Okay, so the down arrow needs to be flipped. And then, let's see here. So actually all we really need to do is flip this guy. So we'll go ahead and move you down by like 2. Oops, -2. And let's flip you upside down. Let's do 180. Yep, okay. And then make it -2.5. And maybe -2.3. Okay, cool. That looks pretty good to me. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. Okay, down arrow, and then arrow spawn downwards. We're going to spawn it instead downwards. See here, downwards, down arrow, save. Cool. 3D world. Let's grab the arrow spawner downwards. Let's move it up. Cool. And then this guy, down arrow, needs to be moving -7. Okay. And then save. All right. Let's take a look. And once, let's go ahead, reverse gravity again. Last thing we need to do here is change the gravity bead to be back down to -25. And let's hit save. Okay. So I'll go ahead and test the scene out again. So the arrows are flying up. Cool. We go through it. We reverse gravity. Awesome. We need to switch the arrows a little bit, but then we come back down and we're back to gameplay. So it's a cool effect. I'm glad that we actually did get it done. Yeah, that was a little bit of work, and it was a team effort. So thank you to Smart Penguins who came in here and helped me out a little bit there. That was clutch, dude. And let's go ahead and just move this over a little bit and test out this scene a little bit more. Get it just right. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm going to just move it one last time a little bit to the right and we're done. Okay, cool. Now, I know that we've been doing this for 3 hours, but I'm just going to go ahead and screw it. I'm going to, let's do checkpoints today. I'm going to show you how to do checkpoints as well, so that this is super useful. So, okay, let's go to the next one. I'm going to hit my third scene, and I'm going to I'm going to name it 4. Okay, and then let's go ahead and create a checkpoint. So, right now, I'm going to go ahead and just delete these and the arrow spawners, because we don't need the arrow spawners anymore, or the reverse gravity or any of that stuff. I'm just going to start off with this. I'm going to go over here to Phases Assets, and I'm going to go look for Reach Checkpoints. I'm going to drag this into our scene. Just drop this in. Lift this up. Do a rotation of 90. -90. Scale it. Scale it up. Shrink it down. Lift it up. And turn off the physics on it and remove the shadow. So here we go. Going to no physics and shadow's gone. Okay, gonna save. All right, let's freaking go. Let's do the checkpoint. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab a checkpoint real fast. I'm going to use a cylinder as a checkpoint. Where are you, cylinder? Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's go in here. Let's make this make this tall and blue. So I'm going to make it, I'm going to go ahead and change it to this color, kind of like a more of a bluer color, a lighter blue color. And then I'm going to change the opacity to something like this. And press OK. Zaid Gamer got a slow-mo request for a tutorial. Let's do that. Slow motion tutorial. All right, I'll add that to the list. Added. All right, and then we're going to do additive blending so that it kind of gives, like, I like additive blending because it gives it kind of like a glow. And do something like that. A little less green. Yeah, a little more bluish. And yeah, go real light with it. Perfect. Okay, I'll hit save. And then I'm going to just make a quick one. I'm going to say, look for this. I'm going to say set checkpoint. So set checkpoint is right here. And I'm going to say that when the character, and I'm going to just leave it as static. When the character collides with this, I want it to set a checkpoint. So I'm going to click the start node, and I'm going to change the affected asset to character. And then we're going to set checkpoint there. And then I'm going to, let's see here. 1 second, hold on. I want to check something. Checkpoint. I actually might be wrong. I think the load checkpoint has to go with the character. I need to double check that though on my file. Hey, Smart Penguins, if you're still on, double check with, like, confirm for me so that I don't have to go back and check my BB doc. Does load checkpoint go on the main character, or do I just or it doesn't really matter? I know the checkpoint loader goes into the 3D world, but I want to know. I think load checkpoint actually goes with the character. I'm pretty sure, right? So let me know. But okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just set checkpoint once it's collided with the character. Let's go ahead and bring the checkpoint out. Call it checkpoint 1. Okay. Cylinder. Let's go like this. Yeah, you can use both. Okay, cool, man. Just double checking. I think I got it on my character on the other one. But whatever. No big deal. Okay, cool. So there it is. Reach the checkpoint. Same thing before. So the checkpoint. All right, cool. You're able to pass through it, I'm pretty sure. And you turn. Let me see something. Okay. Checkpoint none. Let's make sure this is actually being fired off. So let's make sure, I'm going to just do a quick test, and I'm going to say if the signal comes in, I want to log working. Okay. Just to test it out. It just sets the flag to load from the checkpoint next time you reload. Okay, cool. All right. So log working. I just want to make sure the checkpoint is firing off. And then I'm going to go into my 3D world here. Go into, this is a tricky one, everybody. This is follow along closely with this part. So to get the checkpoints working, you have to have you have to go into edit components of the 3D world that you want to load the checkpoint up. And you have to go to, just search checkpoint and grab a checkpoint loader and drop it anywhere. Okay. That's the only thing that you got to do. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Let's test out the scene. And then I'm going to open actually up the log here. I'm going to make this a little smaller. I'm going to open up the log to make sure that it's working. So let's go through it. Interesting. So it's not actually colliding. Huh. Okay. That's weird. All right, we're gonna just do the same. We're gonna do the same thing we did before. Instead of using this collide, we'll do an if collide node. I don't think that's how I did it before, but but you know what? I'm not gonna fight it. Cylinder, cylinder, affected asset, character. When the character is colliding, you have to hook it up to created, like I did last time. All right, and then let's make sure my code is writing log working. If the name is enabled, let checkpoint. Yeah, it should fire off. Let's take a look. Hey, there we go. Look at that. It's working. All right, cool. We're done with that. Now, I just need to be defeated and then restart it, and it should work. So let's go over here to enemies. Let's grab some enemies. Go over here to the fourth scene. Paste them in. Cool. So this is what we want to do. We want to hit the checkpoint, and then we're going to let ourselves be defeated, and then we're going to restart the game, and hopefully we land at the same checkpoint, and then we're good and we're done for today, everybody. So thank you for sticking around for all this, by the way. This was a longer one today for sure. We started at 11, now it's 2 o'clock or 2:07. And we'll do a little bit of Q&A after this too, but I really appreciate you guys starting this up with me. So let's go ahead and let's test out our game. So let's try it out. Going through the checkpoint. I usually have a debris explosion and stuff like that. We'll add that stuff later. Characters defeated. Animation plays. Restart the game. Moment of truth. Oh man, I forgot to set up the load checkpoint. That's right. I'm such a dummy. Okay, let's just do the main character. Let's do main character load checkpoint. All right. Load checkpoint as soon as it's created. Okay. Now let's try it again. Okay, let's go through this guy. Checkpoint is definitely hitting. Now we just got to make sure that it's loading back up and that that's working. So let's go ahead and restart. Hey, there we go. There we go. There's some polished stuff that we got to tweak up. Like I'd like to make the checkpoint smaller. I'd like to make some debris happen. I want to add keys and doors and buttons and all this stuff. But this is good. We actually got a lot done today. And we'll do some more polishing up on this so that it looks like really, really perfect. But this is looking pretty good. Yeah, so you can just, you spawn right in the checkpoint. You can try to play again. If you lose, you just restart and you go right back to the checkpoint. So awesome job, everybody. Okay, so let's go ahead. Really, really great. I'm going to go ahead and save this real fast, actually. Just real fast, everybody. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to share it on Discord. So everybody who's here watching it, now you can grab the BB doc, okay? And you can use that set gravity node that I made for your other games as well if you want. So, okay, I saved it. Saved the phases Livestream demo. Let's pull up Discord. And in here, everybody, I'm going to share this one that I just made. Cool. All right. There you go. Now everybody can access the demo. If you guys want to download the BB doc from Discord, just go for it. Okay, let's do a little bit of let's do 20 minutes of Q&A, and then let's call it a day, and we'll do phases part 3, unlocking doors and hiding keys and pushing buttons and all that. Awesome job, guys. Okay, so Peter, first question is from Peter. That log script, do you put on the set checkpoint node, or what does that do? The log script. Oh, okay. So the reason why, Peter, I put the log script on the set checkpoint is so that I could make sure that when I'm colliding with the checkpoint, that it's triggering. And one way for sure is to to know that here, I'll show you real fast. So here's checkpoint 1, right? So I'm going to take a little closer look at the node, or at the code. But basically, When a node is enabled, like when it first fires up and it's like starting and it's going to start doing something, it checks this signal node, and it checks to see like, okay, if the signal enabled is fired, if like a signal has been passed through there, then let's go ahead and perform some tasks. So I'm checking the signal function right here, and I decided, okay, like, let's go ahead and log it's working so that I know, like, at this point it's being triggered. So at this point in the code, it is working correctly. The truth is you don't really need that, but it is a handy little tool to use when you're testing. So that's why I did that, Peter. Okay. Smart Penguins. Hey, man, thanks for your help today, man. I got tripped up. I don't know why. I swear I was doing things like exactly the way I did them before, and you could see in my other game it was working. But yeah, no, I appreciate your help, man. Thank you. There's a lot to remember. Okay, Recursos Buildbox. Yay, you're welcome, man. Martin, do you have any idea when we have the no code option back again for creating a shop like it was in BB2? So I'll go ahead and mention again that Smart Penguins is releasing a tutorial, I think tomorrow, I think sometime, or sometime soon. And he's going to show you how to do a character shop. I'm not sure, man, if you're doing it like with having multiple 3D worlds where each character has its own 3D world. I can show you guys real quickly like what I'm working on too. I at least have, I'll show you guys this real fast, might as well. 1 second. I was working on making a character shop too, but I was doing it in the world, and then I've talked to Nick and in the dev team, and we're going to create a way that we can do it with no code, and it's going to be super, super clean. And you won't have to have a whole separate world for each character, or you won't have to have your character shop inside your main world, which is what I did. Like, the only way I only saw two really options of doing it, or two ways of doing it with no code, and that was this way, which I'm about to show you. Yeah. With unique characters, right? Instead of just swapping 3D models and swapping skins, you want to have like a character that has like maybe a more powerful jump, or has like a certain weapon, or can run faster or something. I don't know. In that case, yeah, we're working on making it. We're working on making it so that you can like not just switch between models or switch between skins, but also switch between like dynamic characters. Yeah. I get you. So this is kind of what I've got going on so far. So basically you have like a little lock button, a purchase button, and you can't unlock the character unless you have some coins. You get some coins right there. Then you unlock the character. The number of coins is supposed to drop down, but it's not working right now for some reason. I'm gonna have the dev team look at that as well. And then you just switch the button, switch between different characters, and it switches out the character. So that's one way that I'm doing it right now, but it would require you to be able to switch to the characters, but like to have your character shop at the top or somewhere in like the UI, which I don't really like. So we're working on that, and we're gonna have a really, really awesome character shop for you that's gonna be super easy and seamless, and you'll be able to do both. You'll be able to switch skins, and you'll be able to switch between dynamic characters that have different character settings. Okay, what's the next question here? I mean, a shop with unique. Yeah. Okay, Al Cox. Hey, what's up, Al? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Okay, do you know how the pins work? Yeah. So check out pins, man. So this is why you do pins. So let me look at it. Let me use a different example though. I don't want to use this experimental BB doc that I've been using. Also, what version of Buildbox am I using right now? Okay, this is mine. So let's open up Phases 3D. Okay. We're not going to save the changes. This is a good one, guys. Al Cox has a really good question here. Okay. So So check this out. So I'm gonna just give you an example right now. I'll call it. I'll just use a pink cube for some reason because they're really easy to see. Okay, pink cube. Let's go, buddy. Where are you? Pink cube. Cool. All right. Now here we go. Now, here's why we have pinning. So first off, I'm just going to make the cube kinematic so that it's not falling because it's no gravity hits it, Al. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a move node, and I'll pin the speed. Okay, so we're gonna, as soon as it's created, I'm going to pin the speed. So you see right there, I just pin the speed. And so what it does is, watch this. You go into your 3D world, and now that same cube, right? You can put different speeds, and it'll go different speeds. So this one, I'll have it go like, I don't know, -2, and then this one, I'll have it go like -4, like twice as fast. And let's watch it. Let's see what happens. See? One of them goes faster. So the reason why you pin things, Al, is so that you can give them different, like, specific, unique movements, you know, in your scene. But the thing is, the key is if you go over here to the cube and you try to change it here, it's not gonna work. Like, you would need to, like, this is more for, like, if you want all the cubes, like if you want all the pink cubes to act like a certain way every single time, then you would take the pin off and then you would choose the speed here. But if you wanted to use the same cube but have different motions and have different stuff happening to it, then you go here, you go into your 3D world, you pin the speed, and you go over here to the right, and you can change the speed to something unique. Like, watch this. I'll have this sucker move at -4 and also 2. So it's going up as well. So let's check it. See? A little bit more of a dynamic movement there. So that means you can have more options. Yeah, right? Isn't that, like, yeah, useful, right? Useful. There's definitely been times where I should have used it, and, like, or there's been other times where I've, like, made multiple objects, a bunch of objects, when all I needed to do was pin a few attributes and then make them unique in the scene. So good technique for you guys to know, for sure. Okay, got about 12 more minutes or so. Let's see here, Martin. Yeah, cool, Martin. Yeah. Just so you know, man, I've Sean, Connor, Hugh, all of the people from Discord and the forum, and me as well. We have been talking about the coin shop for quite a while, so we're really, and I'm personally really pushing for it right now, and we're gonna make sure that it happens very soon. Okay, we do hear you guys. Also, Hugh, if you have a feature request for BB3, you can DM. You can DM Hugh on Discord. He also created a channel on Discord for feature requests. We do look at that, and we prioritize them based off of the frequency and how often people are requesting them. So if you want it, speak up. All right, making money online 22. Yeah. I'm trying to make a racing game with Space Bucky template. How can I add a background that I am racing toward? Like, are you getting closer to the background? Like, are you actually noticing, like, a difference in, like your distance, like you're actually becoming closer? Shoot, man, I'm kind of confused about what you want. Add a background that I'm racing toward. Like, I'm guessing you're not talking about, like, a static background that is just like a horizon or like a sunset type of background that you're just like, you just want it to, like, stay there and you want to just keep driving towards that and not have it change at all. I'm guessing you're talking about, like, having it like change over time or something. I might do that with an animation node, personally, if that's the case. I think that's what you're asking. But basically what I would do is I would use a plane. I would probably, either use a plane and a texture. Yeah, either a plane and a texture. I'll just show you real fast. So you could add a texture in here, and maybe that'll do it. Or you could just go over here to add an animation, and then that'll also work. So, okay, I'm gonna keep moving down real fast. Keep working through the questions. 1 second. Okay. So making money. Hey, you know what? Making money on line 22. If I didn't answer your question right now, by saying that you can do it with either a texture on a plane or an animation or something like that, email support@buildbox.com and we'll take a look at it. We'll help you out, okay? And you can reach out to us on Discord as well. Just in case I didn't get it exactly right. Okay, Game Studio. Are we going to have multiplayer in BB2? Yeah, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but basically we will have multiplayer in BB... multiplayer in BB2. BB2. Probably not for a while. If we do have it, probably not for a while. The thing is BB2 is a little bit more confining as a developer than BB3. BB3 gives you more flexibility. It's just that BB2 was, it's been around longer. We did a ton of development on it, and I know a lot of you guys know how easy it is to use. And BB3 is coming along pretty nicely. So I'd stick around, and I would I think we'll have multiplayer in BB3 before we have multiplayer in BB2 for sure. If we do it all. Okay. Peter, I'm glad you like the pinning. And then, yes, Al, exactly right. Yes, you're 100% right. The adjustments are made in the scene. Yes, perfect. Cedric, when you parent the element in the UI, they don't follow when you move them around or animate. What do you mean? Hold on. When you parent element in the UI, they don't follow you when you move them around or animate. So you're saying this. What you're saying is you go into a 3D world, you go into a UI, and let's say you've got some little oops, my bad. Let's say you got a little, I don't know, I'm just going to use this as an image. I always use this as an example. So let's say you got this one little image, and then you've got this other, Buildbox image too. Okay, you got these two images in here. What you're saying is that when I put this image in here and I make it a child, wait, are you able to make it a child? No, you're not able to make it a child, are you? Wait. It says when you parent an element in the UI, they don't follow when you move them around or animate. I don't even think you can make I don't think you can do any parenting in the UI. I don't see that happening right now. I just see that you can change the the hierarchy or the the layering. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think you might want to reach out to support on that one, Cedric, or I might need some more clarification. I don't know if I'm reading that correctly. Okay, Martin, do you think there will be an option where you can get a screenshot that can be shared during the game, right? Almost like this thing, right? Where you, not the reset message, the share message, right. So instead of it just being a share message, maybe have a screenshot go with it. Is that what you're talking about? I'm pretty sure that's what you're referring to. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just write that on the list because that is a good one. So make it so you can share a screenshot when using a share button. It's kind of nice, but I honestly thought that a screenshot was already attached to it. I was pretty sure that when you press the share message, the share button, and you try to share it with friends, it not only does it say the share message that you write out in Buildbox, but I'm pretty sure it takes a screenshot at that time and sends that as well, unless I'm wrong. If I remember the last time I did it, I'm pretty sure it shared a screenshot. Yeah, like at the game over screen. I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong on that, let me know, and also I'll mention that to the dev team. Cool driver, hello, Alex Rodriguez or Alexis Rodriguez. Sorry. What is the use of the purple connection by some node's name? Oh, okay. So this is like, okay, very good. I actually probably need to go over like on a separate tutorial to explain this a little bit better. But let me write that down, because I actually want to make sure I write that down so I can clarify that later. Okay, clarify the purple circle, or the purple output, whatever you want to call it, circle output on nodes. Okay, so here's basically how it works. So instead of you know how all the nodes are constantly like sending signals and receiving signals right now, but they're not necessarily like passing information from one node to the other. It's mostly just passing signals, so that you know, start this node, stop this node, start this node, you know, that type of stuff. So we added these purple little spots right here so that you're able to transfer information from one node to another. And basically like a move node, you can also you can basically pass some of the information here from the 3D model over to the move node. Now, I don't have a super good example off the top of my head about why you would want to do that, although I think I do believe that if you add a brain box, right, like you add a animated platformer brain box, I'm pretty sure that is built into it. So let's see here. So we're animated platformer brain box. Let's go with main character. Where did I add the platformer brain box? Huh. What did I have selected before? Okay, I'm gonna hit Control Z a few times. So okay, let's go here. Select cube, add brain box, animated play box, go into the cube. Here we go. This is an example that is actually a working example, but it's kind of technical. It's kind of hard to understand. But basically, like this subscene, instead of you needing like a separate subscene node for every single animation, right? For like idle animation, walk animation, run animation, you're able to just pass along the information from those animations to a single subscene node, which is this one, right? And they all go to that one instead of having to create a whole bunch of them. So basically, it's mostly used for organization and for like shrinking down mind maps and node maps. Yeah, so that's the best explanation I can give right now, although I might have a better one for you in a later live stream or tutorial. Okay. All right, real fast. Okay, Alexis, good question. Very good question. Cedric, if you can create a default asset, and this is referring to the earlier question that you were talking about, where if you parent an element in the UI, if you can create a default asset, like, are you talking, okay, hold on. Are you talking about creating an asset and having it stored in the asset library so that you can grab it later? Because we are working on that, and you'll be able to do that later. You'll be able to have like your own assets and store them into the software so that you can just pull them directly from the software whenever you want, instead of having to have like some folder that you're constantly throwing them in. It'll be saved. Okay. I think that's what you mean, Cedric. Jiggly Bean. Hey Zach, is there best practices to import FBX files? I have a character imported who is flat on his back in the editor, but I changed their settings so they actually are standing in the preview. So there are FBX settings that we recommend. The head of documentation right now, Justin Leon on our team, he's working on putting together a file requirements and a best practices like list of stuff, so that you know how to the best way to put in FBX files, because I have like been talking to some customers and they're saying that like I don't know if it was Sketchfab or TurboSquid or one of these other like 3D modeling websites where they were getting some free 3D FBX files. Apparently there was like a couple problems with them, but we've been working on it like crazy. I bet you anything with this current update that we just had, the 3.2.1, a lot of those issues are solved. So yeah. Okay. Epic 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours. All right, guys. You know what? Hey, I don't mean to cut the Q&A short. I'm really sorry if I missed your questions. But it's been 3.5 hours, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it for today. Just want to say thank you so much for joining me on the live stream. You guys saw already what we ended up with. I shared the BB doc in Discord, so if you want to download that BB doc and mess around with it and do anything, you know where to find it. I'll just show it to you one more time right here just in case. So yeah, the lesson from today is right here, the Phases Livestream BB doc in Discord. And we're going to do a Phases Part 3. I don't know if we're gonna do it next week because I got kind of a lot going on next week, but I'm gonna try to do it soon. So we'll do a Phases Part 3, and we'll do opening doors, and we'll add some more, like make our checkpoint look a little bit nicer. Maybe we'll add some pillars. I'll give you guys my button asset. Actually, if you guys want to just experiment with the button, I already gave it to you. So if you look at the Phases Part 2 assets, you'll notice that there is a red button BB asset and a green button BB asset. Okay, you need both. All right, to make this to make the buttons work, you got to add both assets in. Okay, so just a heads up. And then I have it currently set up so that it sends a signal to drop a key. So you would need to have something like that set up too. Right now, the button, all you're going to do is you're going to hit the button and the button's going to press. It's going to turn green, and then that's it, unless you hook up the send and receive node. Okay, but I will go over that later. I'll go over that next live stream. Okay. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to go ahead and end it here today. Thank you again. We love the Boxer community. You guys are awesome, and I can't wait to see what games you make. I hope this was really useful today. And yeah, keep an eye out for another live stream coming soon. All right. See you guys.